Hello, hello. Audio check. The latency isn't too bad, I don't think. Right. 10 minutes until market open. CPI 50 minutes ago. I have to say, it wasn't as lively as I thought it was going to be. It was quite a fickle CPI release, to say the least. We've already taken London Asia high and London Asia low, taking that London low with the CPI release. Also bouncing off that midnight open. Hey, Shreya. All good, mate? How are you? How are you? This is probably going to be the nicest trading day of the week, today and tomorrow. But I just like CPI a little bit more. So we've got a good session ahead of us. Right, I'm just going to check the quality is as good as I hope it is. Yeah, I believe it's good. All right. Yeah, hopefully it is good to trade. Hopefully we can get an execution in, see what we can do. Right, so what do we got here? We've got yesterday's low. So if you go on the daily, let's just quickly take these off the daily and the hourly, or at least the 4 hour. There we go. So we got yesterday's low here that just so happens to be equal lows here. And then you've also got this level that we created in Monday's PM session. That also is pretty close to yesterday's low. So this whole level has a lot of sell side. So that's definitely a level that we're going to be keeping our eye on today. Then we've also got Friday's high here in close range. If we go on the 4 hour, you see that more clearly. We've kind of, so if I bring up this premium wick, you see that this consequent encroachment level, we've kind of shot through that in this after CPI. You can see here after CPI, we've just shot through that. That isn't great for if we want to go down without hitting this high, right? If we wanted to go down without hitting this high, we could have gone up and just wicked this high and then rejected down. But as we've shot through here, and now we're in the upper quadrant, and it doesn't really seem like there's much rejection, this high is a very probable level that we could trade into today. Then after that, if we were to continue up, after taking that, we've then got this 4 hour level, 4 hour candle high, which is just below the rejection block here. So that would be the next level of buy side. And then finally, we've got another daily high up here, which also is the low of the remaining area of this daily fair value gap here. So this unbalanced area of this daily fair value gap, this is the start of rebalancing that, the low of what's left to rebalance. So this is also a very strong draw that we're keeping our eye on. But we're going to worry about this one first and this one because they're in the closest proximity. You missed those, yeah, those equal highs. I'm just assuming I know the ones you're talking about. I presume you mean these ones here. Yeah, 695. These these were crazy. I mean, we were looking to trade into these. So here at 9, this AM session, I actually took a trade going long and I sold like my TP, like the recording's on the Twitter. My TP was like 2 points below this high, just because that's how the 1-to-1 came out to be. And I think I sold on like the highest 1 minute candle of the day. I was so lucky my TP wasn't a little bit higher. So thankfully I got TP'd on this day, even though the target didn't get hit. And then every day since from that day, so all of this here, and even down here, the day we opened here at 9, I was looking for longs. I can't remember. I don't. I'll have to look back, but I don't think I took any shorts in this time here because I was just so looking for these, and I think everyone was. The whole of Twitter was. They were crazy highs. We'll hit them eventually, though. We'll hit them eventually. Then we've got obviously we've got the CPI liquidity here. So on the release when we came down, we go on the 1 minute quickly. We shot down, and then at 8:31, so very shortly after CPI, we obviously had the liquidity here. This is the liquidity created on the release, like at the instance of the release. That's always the nice liquidity to trade into, but we already traded into that here. So we're gonna have to use this liquidity here. And it's not gonna be as much as when it spikes 200 handles and leaves like a massive wick that has a lot of liquidity. I wouldn't consider this as strong as a draw, but it is still a very strong draw. So we're gonna pay attention to that. And if you see here on NQ, we came down and took this low at the end of the London session, but we didn't take this low from before the London session. And if we go down to ES did take out that low. It took out this one and this one. So NQ's got a little bit of that SMT upwards. But then if we look at ES has recently just taken this high. NQ took that high a couple minutes earlier than ES did. So it's kind of SMTing to the upside a little bit more than ES. So NQ seems a little bit stronger than ES today. Did you watch the presidential debate yesterday, Shreya? I fell asleep watching it. It was pretty funny though. I'd never watched a presidential debate before, so I didn't know they were going to slander each other this much. It was crazy. It was more like an argument than a debate. Look at this 15-second here. Look at that. Close above, comes down, taps, doesn't get to the consequent encroachment, shoots up. You didn't watch it? I didn't watch the whole thing. It started at like 2 a.m. in the UK, so I ended up falling asleep. 7 p.m. there right now. That's pretty late. So your AM session is a late evening session. It's 2:30 here right now. So we're 5 hours later than you, it seems. When I was in Sydney this summer, for the entire month, my AM session was from 11:30 p.m. to 2 in the morning. And then I had to like edit the recordings if there was any trades and post them on the Twitter. So I'd end up going to sleep at like 3 a.m. Hmm. Yeah. I guess it's nice because you can get stuff done during the day, and if you have a job, that will never impede your trading because people don't normally work past 7. Rejection from new day opening gap. Yeah, very nice rejection from new day opening gap there. Body's respecting the consequent encroachment. Look at that. Let's see what we do now. We've just opened up. I am interested in shorts into here. Very interested in shorts into here. We've got liquidity here that I'm also interested. That is just above a new day opening gap. Yesterday's new day opening gap. So we're interested in that liquidity. Fair value gap here. I'm gonna mark this out as, well, I mean, it would be 4 hour south side when we close, but we still got the opening range. So I'm gonna mark it as 1 hour. You're loving Patrick and ICT's beef? It's pretty crazy. It's very funny. It's very, very funny. I have to say, I don't like Patrick's. I think Patrick has to die down a little bit with the language. I think ICT's got it right on. There's beef and there's pot stirring, but he isn't just straight out insulting him. It's actually funny beef. I think Patrick's just a little bit more insultful with it. Not that that's a word. Patrick's way of beefing is just insulting, but it's funny nonetheless. I don't know what he said the other day, but ICT said that he was going to stop interacting with Patrick's account because he said something about his son. But I didn't see what Patrick said about his son. So if you know, I'd like to know. But I think the 500k has been locked into an escrow now. I think like the 500k bet, I think they've both locked the money away now. I think that's like a done deal. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to turn off audio. Right, we're back. You don't blame Patrick. We need some credibility around ICT. Yeah, I mean, it's a very controversial topic, and the people that advocate each side are very passionate with their views. You know, the people that love Patrick, and they just straight out rinse ICT in the comment sections, and vice versa for the people that love ICT. So I don't like participating it too much. I prefer just have it as entertainment on my Twitter For You page. But I do think it will be nice to have undisputable evidence from ICT's side. Like there's obviously a lot of evidence, all of his execution videos and trade management. That's already very convincing. And I don't know if you guys were around when he was on Twitter in the summer of last year, but he had a live account and he was showing live account executions after the fact, obviously, so that no one could use it as financial advice. But that was pretty convincing. And it was on a regulated broker. But I think the Robins will be the most undisputable evidence there is. Yeah, I'm neutral. I'm all for the entertainment. I'm all for the entertainment. Let them fight. I don't know what's going on with M7. I swear M7 also joined the Robins. I haven't heard about him since ICT's been back on Twitter. It's all beef at the end of the day, though. Doesn't actually have an impact on our trading performance. So, shouldn't spend too much time on it. Right, we've opened, shot down. This is a 5-minute chart. What's this candle? 9:30, 34, 86.5. I like this fair value gap. I like this fair value gap. Let's see what we can do with it. Uncommon in the house. Good to see you here. Good morning or good evening. You're in New York, so good morning. I've just had lunch though. And then we've got Shreya in here who is approaching 8 p.m. We've got people all around the world. What are all of these alerts? I was attacked by alerts this morning when I opened TradingView. I had a bunch of alerts from yesterday that I set in the live stream and before the live stream, and they triggered during the night. So when I opened TradingView this morning, my computer was just beeping at full volume. I hate these fair value gaps that print and then price takes like let's say we're on the 1 minute and then price takes like 5 minutes to come up and tap it. Those are the fair value gaps where if I'm holding an order, if I have a sell order here and price takes like 5 minutes and it's just slowly approaching, those are the ones that I just cancel the order. I like the fair value gaps that we print, and the moment the fair value gap's created, we tap into in like seconds in that first minute. You want to be in price runs that have tiny retracements. Like on the 1 minute, just a one bullish candle. You'll be having your dinner after the 11:10 macro. What are you having for dinner? You woke up for the debate. It woke you up for the debate. It woke you up for the debate. What do you mean? I watched the debate. I watched the start of the debate, like the first hour and a half, and then I fell asleep. It was 2 a.m. when the debate started in the UK. So I watched the first hour, and then it was like 3 a.m., and then I was so tired, and they had like a 5-minute break. And I put my AirPods on, and I got into bed, and I just kept listening to it, and eventually I fell asleep. Yeah, no, I ended up going to sleep at 4. Actually, now I say that, I'm gonna check. Because I have this Whoop thing that everyone seems to have now on Twitter in the trading space that tracks your sleep and everything. What time did I go to sleep? I went to sleep at 3:30. Yeah, that's good. I live in the UK, so I didn't have to worry about waking up early for the AM session. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. Look at that rejection. Fantastic. I really like this. I really like this. And we've also got midnight open just below that consequent encroachment of this wick. Look at that. I mean, we've got 4 minutes left of this 50-minute candle. If we can close below the C of this order block, that'll be fantabulous. The mean threshold, sorry. The mean threshold of this order block. The 0.5 level of an order block is mean threshold. My bad. Yeah, equal lows, previous day low. We've got that marked out here. Yeah, with that new week opening gap as well. We got the SMT as well also with ES here. ES took this low. Oh, look at ES. ES is weaker than NQ. We said that earlier. ES took this high a couple minutes after NQ took it. So NQ took it on this candle here, I believe. ES took a little longer. ES also took out this low when NQ didn't. ES is also falling down quicker than NQ is. So we're coming back up now into the fair value gap. Let's ideally not see this inversed if we want lows. If we want lows. I really like yesterday's low would be the nicest target. But if we also go to the weekly, I haven't pointed this out in the stream yet. But if we go to the weekly, we do have a potential of coming up. So earlier I talked about not yesterday, Friday's high, which is this level. Then we got 4-hour liquidity just above that. And then we've got, I believe it's Wednesday's high. What day is this? Thursday's. So Thursday's high here. And that just matches up a couple points above what would be an immediate rebalance if we come up there and hit this. And we've got 3 days left of the week, including today. So that is a potential for this week. So even though I'm overall bearish, I am aware of that. So I would like nothing more than for us to go down to here, but I am aware that this is a very viable option. Coming up here, we've got a 5-minute Sibi. Aligns pretty well with this 5-minute inversion fair value gap. Bounce price range. That would be a reason for why it would make sense to maybe wick just over here. That's the 5-minute fair value gap low. But so far we haven't. We've got two very solid rejections down, but at the same time, two very strong pushes up into it. ES had that lower low than NQ's lower low. More aggressive move down from ES. See, ES nearly took out this low. NQ didn't. Got some consolidating here at yesterday's new day opening gap. No, today's new day opening gap, sorry. See, ES taking these equal lows here on the 1 minute. NQ hasn't. What's YMU doing? Look at those highs on YM. Look at these highs on YM. I'm going to stop going on YM. What is this? What is this? It's still got CPI. It's still got CPI highs to take out. It's still got the CPI high to take out. I'm gonna put an alert there. I want an alert here. I want to be alerted when we're getting close to hitting that. It'd be nice to see DXY come down to here. That would mean NQ and ES and YM would in theory pump up. ES pushing for that low. YM is not it. Look at that. Lovely work. Lovely work that. What is RTH saying? RTH was small. Opening range gap was tiny. Barely 15 handles. I don't know why that is. Why is it glitching on RTH? Why is this candle printing as a bullish candle? I'm not sure that's right. Yeah, it's not right. So RTH was pretty big then. Opening range gap was pretty big then. I don't know why that's glitching out. 50 handle plus. But we came down to that in the first minute. Mm-mm-mm. I think we could very likely get an execution in today. I've only taken 2 trades in the past, well, this week and last week. So in the last 7 trading days, I've only taken 2 trades. Well, Monday last week was Labor Day, so I guess you can't count that. Last week's news wasn't all that for trading. This week's a lot better. The best weeks, in my opinion, are the ones that don't have FOMC or NFP, don't have any type of bank holiday, and just have nice, regular red folder news, talking unemployment claims, price index, that type of stuff, coming out at like 10 and 8:30. Those are the best days. NFP weeks are annoying. I only get to trade for 3 days. We closed above this fair value gap. Not ideal for shorts. Did ES take out that low? ES took out that low. If ES starts pumping up now, NQ will probably do that stronger than ES will. So if we're going to take longs, we would be fine taking longs, or at least I'd be fine taking longs without us taking this low because ES has taken it. But I'm still very much open to shorts. Come down, we rejected, came down, rejected but came down lower. Body's still respecting the C. Let's see if we can take the next step now and close below the consequent encroachment and eventually inverse this. We're now in the 950 to 1010 macro. So we'll see if we can get a bullish sweep of one of these short-term highs, ideally not going up to this one. I think now leaving that 5-minute fair value gap open as a breakaway gap, that would be the most ideal scenario. So if we could just go up, take this now, reject down clearly, and invalidate this, creating a fair value gap, I'll go short. But I want to see a stop run during this macro to the upside before I go short. We're not taking any old fair value gap here. This is what I want to see. Come up and take some buy side, baby. So this is yesterday's low for ES, as you can see here. Yesterday's low for ES. Make it a little bit more clear. And ES is getting pretty close to hitting that now. We may even hit it on ES before we hit this low on NQ. I'm going to refrain from looking at YM for the sake of my mental health. Let's see if we can pump up and take this now. Yeah. If we can take this and just wick it, not have a body close above, that would be the most ideal scenario. We've also got this inversion fair value gap here that we would be wicking into when we take this. This 15-minute candle that we talked about earlier, wanting it to close below the mean threshold of this order block, we didn't quite do that. So we'll see if we can do that on this one, closing just over 5 minutes. So far, I have to say it's been pretty nice price action compared to the last 2 days. Well, compared to yesterday. I'm not going to complain too much about Monday. Monday was pretty nice after the opening range. Wicks indicating bullishness. Yeah. Yeah. I can't contradict that statement. But is this indicating bullishness? Now's when it just rejects up, closes up here. Yeah. 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 That definitely does indicate bullishness. But does that indicate bullishness? Don't get me wrong, I wanna go up. At least for these short-term highs. I don't like that rejection off the low of this inversion. I don't like that. Ooh, 10 seconds until the close of this 5-minute candle. We've got a 5-minute BISI here. So it looks like we're closing below that. And then this is the last short-term high. So if you go and take that, that'd be lovely. Yeah, so we close below this. So we can monitor this now to see how this 5 minute candle closes. Because although I want a wick up into here, it'd be nice to wick up, reject, and still keep this as an inversion. And if we get all of that and a good rejection and a fair value gap on the 1 minute, we've also got this breakaway here. We're looking good for a short. I'd be happy taking that. That's what we're talking about. If we can pump up now, leave this busy here. We can inverse that later. Go up. Maybe if I draw the box in this fair value gap, it will bounce off it better and it will go up quicker. Clearly not. Got a little inversion here. Tiny inversion fair value gap there. Came down, touched into it, bounced up. Got 6 seconds left. What is this? You were nearly there, buddy. Market makers. Oh, the market makers. I'm definitely not going to be taking a short if we leave these highs like this here. I would not be taking a short, even if we have the nicest fair value gap here and the nicest rejection off it, I'm not taking a short. I want my stop run. All right. Good rejection, but we didn't take this. If we had one wick that just came through and took this, and maybe this one here, that'd be nice. Shame. Shame on NQ. Looks like this is getting inverse now. These lows are taken. If we had a short-term stop run on ES, so if ES had come up and taken one of these highs, I would have been open to taking the short on NQ as the stop one occurred on ES, and that would have been an SMT, but it didn't occur on ES. And I'm not going to look at YM, but I believe it probably hasn't had an internal stop run on YM either. Right, so we come down to midnight open. Little pump back up, closed above it. We'll see what we're going to do now. Come back up into this fair value gap. The only way I see myself taking a short into here now, I don't think we'll go up to here, as we've already inversed this. The only way I see myself taking a short now into here would be if we come up, create another short-term high, come down, go up and take that high. So essentially, let me draw it out. We come up, create a short-term high, come down, go and take that high, reject down, and then I'll take an entry somewhere in here to go down into here. That's the only way I see myself taking a short now, because I don't think we'll go up into here and reject down. I don't think that's likely. But we'll see. If we can leave this high now, if we can preserve that for the next minute, then take it and reject, I'd be happy taking a short. If we go up here, take this, and really reject off, I'm still happy taking a short. But I'd prefer the first option. Let's bring this down here. I like marking out my stop runs with this dotted line with an X on it. I've been marking out my stop runs like that forever. I don't know what account I'm connected to. I don't know if I've logged in. I've logged in. Wait, let me just quickly check what I've logged into. Yeah, 4. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. So we inverse this, came back up. We moved back into it. A little bit choppiness here, but we haven't moved up to take this high yet. I think we will. My guess is we will. If we can then reject off that hard, that would be lovely. I don't really like all of this wickiness. We're definitely seeing some resistance going through this inversion and all of this price action here. Yeah, so that's that taken. We took that quite aggressively there with that 15-second candle. So this is what we talked about a couple minutes ago, seeing a high created here on the move up, then taking that high with a good rejection, just like we've seen here. If we can now get a good move down and a fair value gap as our entry PD array, that would be something I'd go short on. That would be my silver bullet entry model. Sure. Well, not mine. My rules for the silver bullet entry. Obviously, ICT coined it. Look at that rejection. Big wick, and on top of that, we closed below. That's the best type of rejection. When you get a close above, like here, even if you wicked a lot, when you get a close substantially above the stop run high, that's never nice. I like this though. I like this. And yes, this is the stop. So this is the high we just took on NQ with that rejection. And this is the candle that took that high. On ES, it was a bearish candle. On ES, this was a bearish candle. See if we can now get this fair value gap. Ooh. This fair value gap printed. I'm going to lower to 8 to 7 so you guys can see a little bit better and I can see a little bit better. Take that consequent equation away. And delete this. I always find myself decluttering my charts a little bit throughout the session. I'd usually have them a little bit more decluttered, but I want to make sure I'm laying everything out very clearly in the live stream. Normally I do my analysis on the actual NQ chart and I have various layouts where I do my analysis. Like here you see. Anyway, come back up and focus on our potential short. What's beeping? DXY. No, what's beeping, mate? I don't know what's beeping. Right, we've got a fair value gap here, but it's absolutely tiny. 5-point fair value gap. That's a pretty small fair value gap. And it's no longer a fair value gap. It wasn't a fair value gap. It was going to be a fair value gap. Now it's just an immediate rebalance. Now the chances of us getting a nice fair value gap, if we just keep going down, that we can actually take an entry being far enough away from this target is low. I'm not going to take a short in a fair value gap after we've taken this low, or if my entry is just a couple points above this. Because then that means that the moment this gets taken, I'll need to move my stop loss to break even, and it will be very likely to get hit. If you don't know what I mean, if I end up taking an entry, and let's say we hit and we haven't taken this yet, let's say my stop loss is somewhere up here, and I'm aiming for 1-to-1, I'll literally have to move my stop loss to break even the moment we take this, which will mean price will be here, and it will either go here or here, and it's very easy to have a little retracement to take my stop out. In fact, the algorithm is meant to go and take stop outs while it goes down. So it just wouldn't be something that's overall worth it. That's if the entry is low. If we can just get, I don't mind taking a short where the TP is past. I just want to give it a little bit more room. Like I don't want to be taking it down here, right? I want to give it some room. Let's get the Buy buttons up. So far on the 30-second, we had a fair value gap here. Went up, mohawk through it, but rejected off. Body's respecting that C. We've got one here now on the 30-second. See, that would be nice. But for this entry model, I use the 1 minute. So I'm not going to deviate from the rules and take this 30-second one. Although this would be a nice one. If you are open to that, this would be a very nice one. Stop loss here. TP about here. Move stop to break even when we take that one out sell side. That'd be nice. But I'm not going to deviate. I'm open to taking this fair value gap here if we don't close it anymore. Never mind. No longer really wanting to take that. Swear to God, every time I'm like a minute away from a potential entry, it just slams my fair value gap closed. Yeah. PA, it's a lot. The price action's a lot nicer than yesterday, and it's still not giving us an entry. We want money here. Give me my money. Nice rejection for if you did take an entry there. We didn't take an entry there. What would my stop loss and take profit be if I had taken an entry there? There. And there. That would be the trade. Very nice. Very nice uncommon. It's like that sometimes, but it's like that. Yeah. Those are some of the worst feelings ones. It happens sometimes. I even have I think I've got some screenshots of executions from like a month ago when I started being active on Twitter, where it was when the market was moving a lot in that range where we had in that area of time where we had the 1,000 point drop in one day, where I didn't adjust my stop loss sizes for that volatility, and I kept getting stopped out, even when I was right. Just price went, took my stop loss, and then went to my TP. If that just happens a lot, that's what journaling's for. You go back, you notice it happens a lot in your journal, and you adjust your rules accordingly. So now we've taken that low, delivered it there nicely. Look at that, off this fair value gap. To that. Let's see. Let's see now. Now we move to the daily low. This is the main target for the day. These equal lows. Let's see if we can get some work. CS is taking that. Let's see if we can put a shift in with NQ and take some sell side. Look at that. Yeah, that's what we want. Previous day lows taken. This is what we want. See, we just closed through that so hard. Like, what I don't like doing is taking a short when we've just taken a sell side level and rejected off it to take the short. But we've closed so far through this that this looks appealing to me. And that's going to potentially be a 5-minute fair value gap. My only concern is that the stop loss would be too wide. Like, I'd want to have my stop loss up here, and that's a 93-point stop loss, which is crazy. So you know what? I would be happy taking this fair value gap here. Not directly, like I'm not going to set a sell order here, but if we can move up into it, possibly get the same thing we talked about here, like that we wanted to happen here, and that ended up happening, getting that high and stop run. If we can do that again in this fair value gap, just like we did in this inversion fair value gap, and then reject fair value gap, same idea as we had here, then we can potentially look for the short. Basically the exact same thing that we outlined here, stop run, come up, stop run in that PD array, that inversion, and then a fair value gap, I'd go short. But I just want that fair value gap to be more significant than this tiny 2-point nuisance of a fair value gap. It's very much still a fair value gap, but I just like taking bigger ones. We've also tapped into this 15-minute fair value gap. But we've got 10 minutes till the close of this candle. So we can very much go up into here and then come back down and still not strongly reject off that in the next 10 minutes. Let's take the buy and sell buttons off for now. It's a lot of waiting. It really is a waiting game. You wait in the session to take a trade, but then sometimes you wait multiple sessions to take a trade. And when I do end up getting a trade, it has like a 2-minute duration. They're an exciting 2 minutes though. We haven't even moved up into the first fair value gap. Let's see if we can do that. We definitely want that new week opening gap hit though. And then at the low of that new week opening gap is the is a low from yesterday. I believe yesterday at 12 o'clock, in that 12 o'clock hour, there's a low that just matches up perfectly with that new week opening gap low. Let me show you here. So that's part of the equal lows. That's the low of this new week opening gap. By the way, I'm not looking at any other charts. I've not got any other screens with charts up. I've got Tradeovate up, but I'm not using it as a charting platform. I'm using it for the trade copy up. By the way, I said this yesterday. Just a quick reminder. I'm going to be hosting a space on Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, New York time. So the lunch hour, 12 to 1, with Elijah Pips, journaling deep dive, trade journaling deep dive, and price action logbook, journaling deep dive. So the two main sides of journaling. One is barely done by traders, and that's the price action logbook. And they're both very important. You'll be there? Lovely. We'll give out which we obviously each Elijah and me have our different ways of journaling. Like we both use Notion, and we'll talk about that. We already have a structured plan for the space. So we'll try and cover everything in detail and how we can help provide on our templates. And obviously you'll hear him, you'll hear me. We both have our own templates and our way of doing it. He records some stuff that I don't. I record some stuff that he doesn't when it comes to trade data. But the most important thing is that it's been done well and thoroughly. However, you decide to do it, whatever platform you decide to do it on. Yeah, Notion's class. I can't believe it's free. Like, I know they have the premium subscription or whatever, but I can't believe the free version is as good as it is. Personally, if I was at Notion, I would have made all of these free features behind a paywall. The only thing I wish was free and wasn't behind the paywall was the charting features. You're only allowed one chart in the free version. We came up, rejected off this one, didn't move into this one though. You know what though, if we can come down, create a fair value gap, I'll also look to go short on that because then this would be a breakaway gap and we can look to leave this just completely unfilled. If that's the case, that would be nice. 5 minute fair value gap. Breakaway gap. Same deal as up here. That would be nice. A nice little signature that we're moving down quickly. Yeah, one chart is crazy. I was so gassed because charts has always been something that Notion didn't have, that Excel did. And that was the one thing I didn't like about Notion. And they came out with charts, and I was so gassed. And I remember I set up an equity curve for that funded account I got the payout on, and I was so gassed. But then I went to make another equity chart for other accounts, and it didn't let me. And all that hype just immediately died. But I respect it. They need to make their money. I used to do all of my data collection and analysis on Excel. And oh my days. By the way, one of you asked me in the first stream when I started trading, and I only mentioned when I started ICT trading. But I took my first demo trade when I just turned 13, and it was on Forex. I can't remember what pair. I think it was GBP USD, and I was in Spain. I was living in Spain at the time, and I took it on IG. I don't know if you know the platform IG. It's a red logo, and I demo traded for like a month, and then guess what? Guess what I did after demo trading? My savings didn't survive long. Let's just say that. Relayed. How are you, mate? You gotta leave for school soon. I get what you mean. How old are you? No, did I buy an account? No, I didn't buy an account. I didn't buy a prop firm account. No, no, no. No, no, no. I was live. I was live. I wasn't in no demo simulated scenario. I was live. I wasn't live for long. You 18? Yeah, me too, bro. I'm also 18. You in your last day of school then? What are you? Are you in the States? Last year of school, I mean, yeah. Are you in the States? Yeah, live was crazy. My very, very first live trade, I made 20 quid, £20. I was so gassed. I put the order on and I had like my TP was like, I don't know, like 200 quid. I can't remember, but it was a massive TP. And my SL, my stop loss was also pretty massive. But I ended up just closing the trade like in 30 seconds when I was floating in £20 profit because I couldn't believe I was in profit. I just had to like realize the profit and I was so gassed. And then it was all downhill from there. That was the equity high of the account, £20 profit. You're in uni? All right. Yeah, I'm at that same stage. I just finished my last year of school, um, in June, so 2 months ago. So leaving for school now. So you're in the States then, I imagine. Notion really killing the vibes with only allowing one chart. How much is Notion Premium? I feel like I just end up getting TradeZella before I get Notion Premium. I do like, even if I had TradeZella, I would still use Notion for the price action logbook side of journaling. So I'd still absolutely use Notion, but TradeZella would just save a lot of time, and it has a lot of cool features. Yeah, the only thing is that TradeZella is so expensive. I remember finding out about TradeZella back in so before I took the 6 month break from trading for school. Before I took that break starting in December, I remember finding out about TradeZella and being like, when I come back to trading, because I knew I was going to take a break. When I come back to trading in the summer, I'm going to get TradeZella and I'm just going to use TradeZella. And I'm going to be religious with it. But then I came back and I sat down and I looked through TradeZella. And don't get me wrong, I love the product, but it was just so expensive. And I was like, do I really need to pay? I don't know what it is, like $50 a month. Do I really need to pay this when I can just do it myself manually? And I use Notion so much anyway, like for other stuff outside of like just data collecting on trades, that it wasn't even too bad to just add an extra page. See, this would have been nice to go short in. if we hadn't had this extremely big bearish candle. So now if we come up and tap into this, we'll be creating a massive order block. We've had no retracement so far in this move down on any of the time frames. Could we take a trade here? I wouldn't take a short here now, just because we've dropped so much. If we come up into here and I was short and I had my stop loss up here, I wouldn't be extremely confident. I'd prefer waiting for a move up to take this and then go short. So nothing from me yet. I could use a 30-second. I could use a 30-second. I use different time frames for different entry models. And for this specific one, which is like relates to the silver bullet, I only use the 1 minute. And that is what the model is. And I don't want to deviate from that. I use the 30-second and the 15-second and even the 10-second on when I'm taking trades into internal liquidity, like after we've taken the main target for the day. So if we take, like, for example, if we go and deliver this now, before 11, or, you know, to deliver that and then have some time before the AM session ends, then I'll look to take trades into internal buy side. And when I do that, I do drop down to the lower time frames, and I'm absolutely fine doing that. But it's just for this model, I prefer using the 1 minute. 10 seconds is crazy. Yeah, I know. 10 seconds. The time, most of them are on the 15 or 30-second. Very few are on the 10-second. I've had some crazy 10-second trades. I think there's one recording. I talked about this yesterday. There's one recording where I literally went short, and the candle I went short in, the 10-second candle I went short in, hit the level where my TP was supposed to be. And I didn't even have time to place my TP. So I placed my TP after price had already hit that level and come up. But then thankfully, like, I was just going to go and close it manually and be like, yeah, I should have been quick enough. But then as I went to do that, price just shot down and hit the TP. Thankfully. Fair value gap. Why am I not taking this? Because we have a fair value gap there. We've got this fair value gap we left open. We've dropped too low. It would be nice. I was contemplating it in my head, like it follows the model rules. But no, I'm not going to take it. If I had, where would my stop loss be? If I had, my stop loss would be there probably. 46.75. 46.75. And then I'd have my TP would be just below the highest equal low. But like you kind of upset hit your TP. You try to remove your TP to make more money off this fall, but it got hit. Man, you made money. You made money. You made money. There's so many times where you take a trade, like let's say you take a short and it hits your TP and then it falls so much further. And if you just had removed it and targeted another level, you would have made like 3 times more. But then imagine it had just reversed after hitting your TP. Imagine how gassed you would be that you had your TP there, and that you essentially took profit at the low and then it shot up. There's two sides to that sword. That's why partials are nice If you can just leave a runner on, then you win if it goes down, but you also win if it goes up. Partials are powerful. Because, like, let's say I went short with 10 micros and I took out 9 micros at 1 to 1. I'm essentially still taking the full trade off at 1 to 1. Because, like, what? Let's say you risk 1,000 and you take out 900. It's pretty much a 1 to 1. But you still have money in the game for if it goes lower. Nice little run here. Shreya, have I taken any trades? No, no trades yet. No trades yet, mate. There's so many times we've come close to trades. So many times. But every time, either the fair value gap that we wanted to take got slammed down to like a 2 point fair value gap, so we didn't take it, or it just got completely slammed down and didn't give us a fair value gap at all. See, now I'm happy I didn't take this. The worst thing is when you're close to your TP, or like at 0.5 R in profit, and then it comes back. If I had entered in this short here, down here, I would have moved my stop loss just a little bit past break even. So I'd have been stopped out in break even now. Yeah, it's the worst. In fact, one of my first, when I started doing the trade recordings on Twitter with music, one of the first ones I did, I started like them like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago now. One of the first recordings when I still had the white background on the charts. I think I took the trade and it ran down to like zero point 0.8 R, 0.9 R. So literally like points away from my TP in 1 minute candle. And then new 1 minute candle came around and it shot straight back up to my entry. I hadn't moved my stop loss to break even though. Moved straight back up to my entry. New 1 minute candle open, then it shot straight down to my TP. So in like 3 minutes, we went from entry to TP to entry to TP. Sometimes it is like that, but I just prefer being very strict with pushing my stop loss to break even early. Right. As long as this wick isn't touching the 0.5 level. So you see there that wick isn't touching the 0.5 level. So as long as if we can come down now, if we can fall down a little bit more. Okay, never mind. Now if I go there, the wick's touching the 0.5 level, in which case we don't include this volume balance in the fair value gap drawing. So this would be the fair value gap, which is very small. If we had this as the fair value gap, and we drop down a little bit more, like that, possible nice trade into the yesterday's low after this stop run. But I don't like that now. For like the 10th time today, I don't like this anymore. White is better to see. Sure, this used to be my chart colors. Don't get me wrong, I like this, but I'm taking a break. I'll probably go back to this in like a month. For a month, I'll probably bounce between. But for now, we're going back to the black. It's better for the eyes. Zenith. Zenith gave me those chart colors, so I called it Zenith. Shout out to him, he's a G. Right, new week opening gap delivered. I expect to see the new week opening gap low and yesterday's low get taken out in the same 1 minute candle. As this is, as we said earlier, is of the equal lows, this is the lower one, this is the highest one. As it's a big pool of liquidity, I'd imagine just a spike through in 1 minute. Like a little bit of like consolidation. We get that sometimes before we hit a strong target. And then just we'll fall like the last We'll fall like 20, 15 to 20 handles in that 1 minute. That's normally how it pans out with strong targets. Don't get me wrong, if we can go up now, take these highs, and give me another fair value gap, I will be jumping out of my seat to take that short. But not yet. If we don't go up here and we just continue going down, then I'm happy to just watch it hit that. And I'll be happy with that. With not having participated. Ideally, we come up and give me an entry opportunity, though. That'd be lovely. Yeah, it's better. I always thought white backgrounds were better than the black backgrounds. I've always had a white background. I've only ever had a black background for this last month. But I'm not sure. I always preferred white. I'm not sure what I prefer now. I don't mind either. I absolutely don't mind either of them. But I'm just enjoying this one now because of the novelty around it, if you want. Some fake Tory trades account just followed me on Twitter. Tory private. It's quite deceiving when these scam accounts do have like 4,000 followers. Tory private 4.2 thousand followers. I don't know why Take Profit Trader's Twitter account keeps liking every single one of my comments and a lot of my posts. Like whenever I see the people get the notifications of people liking my comments and my posts, TPT is always there. I swear to God, what are they doing? Is this some form of marketing? They just like everyone's posts and hope that the people then go into visit their profile. Tori and Patrick's beef? Yeah, I follow Patrick, so I see when he goes and slanders Tori a lot. That's pretty funny. Right, we've taken the daily low here. Lovely, lovely. Did we see that happen quickly? I wasn't watching the charts. Yeah, look at that. As we said, went down and did that quickly. Within 10 seconds, we just popped through. I don't know if it did it like instantly, like in 1 second, though. I wasn't watching. Right, so then now that that's been hit, and we did not get an entry. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see what we do. We seem to have rejected a little bit off that. We didn't shoot through it like we did here. On the 15-minute, we've still got this low here to take from the PM on Monday. That hasn't been taken yet. I'm gonna mark that out. That'd be the next, but that's in very close proximity. This is the next level here. That bottom untapped area of the new week opening gap from this week. But that is still quite a way away. That's around 200 handles away still. What else do we have laying around? We got this 4 hour here. Look at that. Equal lows. This was created on Monday. We talked about this on Monday. I remember Uncommon took a short and was in a short here. We came down and tapped this low to the tick. We already had equal lows over here. If we could look at the 5 minute, there was already equal lows here on the lower time frame, and we just went and generated more liquidity. So that's a very possible target for today. So I'm going to mark that out as our equal lows. If you want to keep going down, it would be nice to see a move up into internal buy side now, though. You need some retracement. Yeah, I want some retracement to take longs into internal buy side. I don't really want to take a short anymore, just because we've already hit that main target. Like this was my main target for the AM session. This daily low. We're too far now in discount. Just slammed all of this now. Have we taken that 4 hour? Yeah, we've now tapped into that. Are we gonna trade through it? Go on, trade through it, please. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. Yeah, there we go. We traded through it. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but it's hailing right now in the UK. There's literally mini ice balls of ice slamming down on the roof above me. So I apologize if the audio. See, there we go again. I apologize if the audio is a little bit. Like the background audio is a little bit loud. That's my roof. Right, so we've hit this now. That was it's almost 10:50 macro yet. You love hailstorms. I think they're so infrequent that you can't not hate them when they come around. Like they're too infrequent to really dislike. Rain I dislike. I don't like when it rains. And it rains all the time in the UK. It did come out of nowhere though, it was sunny this morning. Which is a first for the UK. Right, so we've now taken this. We didn't really run through it hard. So I'm done with shorts for today. I'm not taking shorts today. It's so hot nowadays in your area. I envy you. Let's see if we can. Let's see. What are our internal buy side targets here? Let's move up. Let's look at the 30 minute. We're gonna close now in 10 minutes. This will be a level for internal. Matches up with the low of this inversion fair value gap and the low of this reclaimed fair value gap. That it's already internal on 15 minute. Let's mark that out. Internal buy side. We've got internal buy side here. That's too far up. That's past equilibrium of this range, so we're not going to mark that up. I don't like taking trades into internal levels that are above equilibrium, because I like to believe that we would get to equilibrium. So I like taking trades knowing that price is still likely to go past my TP. I talked about this yesterday. I don't want to be taking trades where my TP is the last very level where I think price will reverse. It could keep going down. Yeah, it could absolutely keep going down. But this was just my main target, so I'm not interested in participating in shorts if we do keep going down. I'll very happily watch it go down though. This would be the next level I'd want to see it go to. But I'm just saying, if I would like to see a rejection, it could go down here, but after it normally hits us. I talked about this yesterday. It normally hits that main target by 11 o'clock. And we did do exactly that in this AM session. We went up on the open, took some buy side, came down that Judah swing, and then came down. We hit our main target by that 11 o'clock time. So now I'd like to see a reversal for the hour. Yeah, it must create some liquidity before going down. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing bad about going up when this is a strong target. We can go up, it'll create even more liquidity here to come down for later in the run down to here. We could absolutely go down here, but after external, where do we go? But we could take some more external, but we'll see. We'll see. That's just my look on things. But if we do want to see a move up into here, we'd want to see some decent rejection. You know, at the moment we're not seeing that decent rejection. I'm still hopeful though, because we didn't just slam down. Like with this low here, we slammed down through it. If we go to the 1 minute, that low, we just slammed down through it. We never even went up back into this range. We just went straight down through it. But with this one, we've come down and kind of just chopped a little bit. We came down, chopped a little bit, took that 4 hour sell side, chopped a little bit. You think all in all it won't retrace? These bullish candles are tiny. Yeah, yeah, possibly. You got to think that at all times, the way ICT phrased it was IPDA, it's it's AI. It's designed to liquidate human behavior. So it's designed to make you think that something's going to happen and then do the opposite and use you as liquidity. That's how he phrased it. So I always try when I find myself thinking, oh, it looks like it's going to do this. I try and I try and use logic to back that idea. And if I find that I can't really use the ICT logic to back that idea, then it's just IPDA priming me into being liquidated. Look here, look here, look here. We got prime, look at that. Prime squeeze. This is a short squeeze here. You see that? Short squeeze, and then we just exploded to the downside. That's the meta. Look at that. Short squeeze, people. You think retailers are looking to long here? Possibly. I think they short, we then go up, take their stop losses, they long, and then we go down, take their stop losses, and take equal lows. Will we do that all in the next hour? I don't think so. I doubt that. I think we can make that move down the PM. I'd prefer seeing a move up now. But hey, this is all preferences. At the end of the day, nothing, it doesn't actually matter if no money was put on the table. What's the most entertaining chart to tape read? Probably the 15-second. Let's tape read the 1 second chart. Volume imbalance. But it doesn't let me place it. It's moving too quickly. Okay, it did not refer back to the volume imbalance. Inversion fair value gaps here. Oh, I did not mean to open Instagram. Let's close Instagram. Yeah, referred back to the volume imbalance and then shot down. We called it live. You heard it here first. We called this live. Right. So we had an order block here, but now we've got an order block here. So that's okay. So that's invalidated. We've got a breaker here now. Cheeky breaker. Let's get that move up. Low resistance liquidity run. We've got all of this to run, guys. Come on, baby. 1 second volume imbalance. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. We called that volume imbalance where we were moving down here. You heard it here first. We created ICT Concepts. No one does it like us. FYI, that was my first second ever on the 1 second chart. And I'm never going back on it. How do I remove it from the top? It's stuck in my top now. You guys can't see that. It's cropped out the stream. But my 1 second seems to have been favorited when I haven't favorited it. Let's see if we can maintain this breaker now. We've got an order block here as well. Or are we just going to start printing price like yesterday's AM session? That would be AIDS. Yeah, nice little rejection. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a great rejection. It's not really what you want to see. Like these are times where when you're let's say I want to go long. Let's say I'm bullish. When these bullish PD arrays get respected, but they get respected in a sloppy manner, meaning it's like it's barely respected it. Like yeah, it closed above the mean threshold, but is this really what you want to see if you're bullish? Let's get a move on. We want hot feet. We want to tap into these bullish PD arrays and just completely disregard the bearish ones. Tap into bearish, create a bullish. Tap into bullish, hot feet, invalidate bearish. Macro, macro baby. We want to see a move up. Yes. It's like it listened to me. I'm the 1 minute NQ whisperer. Look at that, lovely. Lovely jubbly. That is what we want to see. If we can move up into here, that would be lovely. Let's start looking for an entry. If we can just shoot through this, we really disregarded that low, that new week opening gap low. We just shot through it. That's good. That's nice. That's lovely. If we could then find support here, find, like you see, we didn't just come up into it here, touch the high and reject. If we can now find support in here, disregard it when we're going up through it, but respect it when we're going down into it, that will be lovely stuff. 30-second fair value gap. I want us to leave this open. I don't want us to reject. I don't want us to come up into it now. That's what I don't want to see. I want us to come down a little bit more. I wanted to keep this as a large fair value gap so then we can have a large inversion. So now when I'm going, as I talked about earlier, now when I'm taking trades into internal liquidity, I'm happy taking trades on the 15 and 30 second. And what I look for is a stop run on those lower time frames. So, and in that stop run, if it's a fast run down to take liquidity, we can often create these large fair value gaps that then get inversed. And those are the ones that I've found to be the nicest to take trades off of. When you get just these small, fickle fair value gaps, sure they are fair value gaps, but I haven't found my success in them. Not convincing on the 1 minute. You have to say this looks more like a just a stop run to then continue down than it looks like a move up on the 1 minute so far. But if we now reject and continue going up, I'm still happy taking longs. But at the moment, it does still not look convincing. If we come up and we create order block here, that'll be lovely jubbly. Then we can possibly go for this high. We've got a volume imbalance there. Cheeky volume imbalance. That volume imbalance on NQ is only 1 tick. Here it's 1 point. So if I show you on NQ, this same volume imbalance there. It's just one. Oh no, it's also 1 point. It's also 1 point. Even better. Wait, where have I gone? No, sorry, it hasn't been. No, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It's 1 tick. Here. See there? 1 tick. That volume balance is 1 tick. Whereas on NQ here, that volume imbalance is... Where's it gone? Here. 1 point. I was bugging. Wait, was I signaling the right one? Yeah, 1 tick. So there's still a volume balance there above this high. That could be a nice target before this one, obviously. These two are the main ones. The 15-minute fair value gap, lows. Tap into those fair value gaps. Is this still not convincing, Shreya? What would you say? What's Uncommon saying? Uncommon's dead. What would I like to see? I'd like to see that. That is nice. I like that. See, I'd like that. That meets my model rules. I'm not going to take it though because we're still in this new week opening gap and we can still very much reject off it. So your man's going to wait a little bit longer. If I was going to take it, I would have taken on the close of that candle there. And that would be my stop loss. That would be the trade. Yeah, macro also. Mm-hmm. So that's very tempting. That meets all my model rules. If we can come down, reject off this and come up, and we get past this new week opening gap level, I could long. And that would meet all my model rules. Yeah, yeah. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Came down, rejected. We'll put that there. Come on, baby. Second trade of the live stream. Where is our one-to-one target? Why is that like halfway between? Geez, our one-to-ones come quickly. Our one-to-ones come quickly. Right, we're selling 9, we're leaving 2 as a partial. That one-to-one came quickly, boys. Right. Right, so that's basically a winning trade now. That we hit that 1R. Big W. Big W. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much was. I think that's, yeah. So we just locked in what we lost yesterday. Now we're gonna hold a runner. Do you guys want these on? Do you guys prefer it like that? Or just with the arrows? So you see what I mean by trade duration? How long was that on the 30-second? Like 1 minute, 30 seconds? I love trading. 37.5. Where did I take that? 51.5. Yeah. So I just took that out a couple I think like 1.2 at 1.2R. So leaving partials on, essentially I made what I was risking. So essentially I've made exactly 1R so far. And now we've got this partial running. If we can get up to here with this partial, I think that'll be like a overall like 1.6, 1.7R trade. Uncommon, where are you at? Yeah, you waiting for the 1 minute to close? Yeah. It ran quickly. See, my model rules would say to enter here, but I wanted a little bit more of that confluence. I wanted to wait until we were above the new week opening gap. So we came down, rejected, came up. And the moment we closed there, that's when I took it. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to get ready to take my partials. Where am I going to take my partials? Here, up here. This one would be the nice one. I'll trail my stop as we go up, but this would be the one I want. And I'll probably take one here and then leave one running. It's always worth leaving one running because you never know what's going to happen. Like on Monday, when we were looking for longs into internal, we didn't end up taking any longs, but it ended up just going up and taking the high. Like it took internal and then took external, right? So if you had gone long and just left one micro out of the 11 that I initially went long, that is a lot of extra profit. And that is the definition of a runner. Let it run. So I'll take one if we get up to here, and then I'll probably leave the other one to just literally run. I'll let it run and I'll leave my stop loss here relatively tight. And then I'll come back in the PM to close it. I'll be monitoring it off stream. Obviously, I'm not going to be streaming all the way until the PM. Is this a My Fund Future starter? Wait, let me just. I've got a trade copy on the other side and I'm managing that. So just give me a second. That's the end of the macro. Let's see what we can do. Right. Is this is this my fund future starter? This is so right. So I had my fund futures. So I only turned 18 a month and a bit ago. So obviously that's when I was legally allowed to sign up to my funded futures. So I was able to get one funded account, and so far, one funded. I haven't. It's not like I've blown any. I haven't blown any accounts yet, evaluations yet. But I was able to pass one of my evaluations that I had because I was running two at the time and get a payout with that. But obviously, I took a 100% payout as I talked about yesterday, and that's now been closed. So I'm basically back to evaluations now, which I was fine with. That was the plan. The plan now, when I get these funded accounts, is to not take a payout because I'm not like pressed for like paying my bills. Like I got that covered now. So I'm not pressed to take any payouts. The goal is to now just build up equity in the account. So that's going to be the goal now with these when and if I pass them. And I'm going quite high leverage on them because I don't mind failing some once in a while. Like the payout I got essentially covers 10 evaluation fees for these 50k starters. Obviously, I don't plan on just spamming evaluations, but you get an idea. Like I'm fine if I go high leverage and blow one or blow two, but then pass one and pass two because I'll have passed them quicker and I won't be spending like 1 to 2 months trading them. You missed it? Yeah, W in the chat, bro. It was a quick trade. It lasted like 1 minute 30 seconds, bro. I was wondering where you were at. Yeah, we took out 1R. So I took this out at like 1.2R, 1.1R of risk. And I'd say it was most, it was 9 of the 11 macros. So that added up to about exactly 1R of risk. And now we've got these two partials for runners. I've also got a trade on another evaluation on the other screen. I'll show that later. I'll post it on the Twitter later. But I didn't take I took it with 12 micros, the other one, and I didn't take a partial here. So that's still running with 12 micros. It's in like 1.5k profit right now. So we're looking to take one of them here and then leaving another one as a runner. So I'll just manually sell it. Actually, I haven't used one of these in a while. Put it there. How many will how many micros will my fund of futures allow for the starters? 30. So three NQ contracts, up to three NQ contracts, and therefore up to 30 micros. I mean, with the volatility in the last couple of weeks, even if you want to go high leverage on these like evaluation accounts, I don't ever find myself needing more than those 30 micros. Like you can see here, this is a very high leverage trade. I was risking 800, which is a third of the max drawdown. Essentially, I give myself three losses and the account would be blown. Like that's pretty high leverage. The only high leverage than that would literally be 50% of the account, which is the maximum you can do because of the daily loss limit. So this is high leverage, and I used 11 micros. So you just never find yourself, and this was on a 30-second chart. So you'd basically never find yourself using anywhere near to those 30 micros, really. Like you'd only find yourself using those when you're like well into profit in the funded and you're scaling your risk. Like let's say you were at 60k in the funded and you wanted to scale your risk because you have 10k of drawdown. That's when you'd raise it, but that's so far off. You high leveraged earlier. Someone help. Yeah. It's five. For expert, but for expert, you're only allowed 5 micros. You serious? You use 10 micros and then 15? That's very high leverage. Top Step is crazy with it. Top Step is crazy with it. 15 NQ contracts, mental stuff. This is nice. This is very nice. No need to get caught up on a loss, boys. No need to get caught up on a loss. SMH means shaking my head. I swear it meant someone help. Well, I mean, it's kind of it worked in context. It worked. I high leveraged earlier. Someone help. I high leveraged earlier. Shaking my head. It works out either way. I didn't. I've never heard that before. I didn't know it meant shaking my head. There we go, boys. Let's change this to 1 micro now. We'll move that up in a second. I'm just managing the other chart right now. So I've just taken 8 micros off of the 12 micro long on the other account. So I'm just managing this now. I'll show you guys that later. I'll post everything on Twitter later, like always. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do the recordings with music today because this is just getting live streamed already. Like I'm not professional. I'm not recording it as I'd want to in 4K. Like this is going to be recorded in 1080p, so the quality is going to be a little bit worse. And obviously, I've been moving it around, which in my recordings, when I do the recordings and I'm not streaming, the moment I'm in a trade, I don't touch the chart to just keep the recording still. Because obviously the trades are normally sped up. Like I normally speed it up by like 4x. And if you keep moving it around like this, it just looks really messy. So I'm not sure how the recording's going to turn out, or if I even do a proper recording. Maybe I just record the trade, take off my voice for most of the trade and put some music, but it may be a longer recording. Maybe I just put me entering the trade and then cut to when I take the partials. Maybe that's the meta. Let's move this micro up, sorry. I was managing on the other account. I wouldn't want to see us come down to here. There we go. 5 micros and 5 minis. Yeah, I don't know why Top Step does that. I don't know if is that still the case? I remember with Top Step, like they'd allow like 5 micros for the 50Ks. I mean 5 minis for the 50Ks, and you'd think that they'd therefore allow 50 micros, but they didn't. They didn't even allow more than 5 micros. So it was stupid. You either traded 5 micros, or if you wanted to go a little bit higher, you couldn't. You just had to go straight to one contract. Explain the trade real quick. How you were already grabbing groceries. Yeah, first dub on live. I'm happy we were able to make that loss back from yesterday with this, that first partial. We made a little bit more than what we lost yesterday. And obviously we took this here. So I'm happy that we're going to be in green for the week when this closes. That's always nice. I'll explain it though. So essentially, we came down here at the start, and I talked about yesterday. I'm talking about this today as well. Let me just take away the execution. That. So we talked about how we came down and hit that main target, normally by 11. And then after 11, if we've hit that main target and I haven't been able to get a trade in, because I only do one trade a day. So if I haven't got a trade in here, then I usually look for a move back into internal during that 11 to 12 period when we've already hit the main target. And we hit that main target, so I started looking for a move up into these two levels. And down on the 30-second, what I look for when I'm looking for a move up is I look for a stop run on these low 15, 30-second time frame, which you came down, we had that stop run there. And then I look for an inversion of a fairly large fair value gap, which we had here. I was happy with that fair value gap size. We inversed that there, and normally I'd be taking it there. But I wanted to see a move above this new week opening gap, like a proper move above this new week opening gap. So we came down, rejected, came up, and on the close of this candle, I went long. Now we had done all this, my model rules were met. The confluence, this specific confluence of the new week opening gap, that had been met. And now I was happy with it going long and stop taking all of this out in that macro 10 to 50, 1050 to 1110 macro. Came up, took the first one when we just came past 1 to 1. It was pretty quick. If you go back and see the live stream, I was just checking where my 1 to 1 take profit was going to be, and I checked it and we had already ran there. So I just quickly plotted down the sizing to 9 micros of the 11 and took that out there. And then the next one taken out here, planning to leave one for a runner. But that seems to now have come back down. So we'll see now if this rejection goes up, or and we can potentially take that out at midnight open, or we could let it run with the idea of it going out and taking out highs and 1 day buy side, possibly in the PM. But we'll see. Right now, it's looking like we're going to go down and take this. In which case, that's perfectly fine. We'll get stopped out in profit. I think at the exact same level. Yeah, one tick above where I took out the original order. So we took this out at 51.75 and we've got this at 50.5. So essentially the same level, but we'll see what we do. Actually, that was quite nice. I'll put that back. If it was going to go up, it would have to do that now because we've just taken this low and it wouldn't make sense for us to keep going down. So if we're going to go up, no need to take that low. In fact, I may move my stop loss up to this low now because there really would be no low. If we come down and take this, then we'll probably just spike down to the stop loss. Yeah, so we like that. So let's just zoom in a little bit here. Let's put these back on executions. Let's take the buy labels off. We don't need them anymore. We don't want to see a move back down below there. No. Oh. See, that's nice. When your exits are like on a wick like that, and your entries are on that like candle that creates the low for a long, and your entry's on the candle that creates the high. Your exit's on the candle that creates the high for a long, and vice versa for a short. That always feels nice. That gives like when your targets get taken by a wick and then reversed, that just that just proves that your targets meant something. They weren't random, you know? Always feels nice. I had a lovely trade. My trade last week on Wednesday, it was zero drawdown, and I sold on the high candle of that price swing. It felt so good. Even though it wasn't on a funded, it felt so good. There we go, lovely. Happy with that churd stop loss placement down here. Came down, didn't tap it. Now move up. If we can now just continue going up, that would be very lovely. That would be very lovely. Hope the quality's still good. When I'm zooming out here and there's a lot of candles, I feel how the quality could get a little bit worse, but I think it's still good. Yeah. Today's one was also no drawdown. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. We entered right there, and we had like 9.25. Like we had like 4 points of drawdown. What are we floating at right now? That was a 90 point partial. So if we can get above here, that'll be a 100+ point trade. I'll be happy with that. Let's go back up to the 1 minute. Maybe we have to view it on the 1 minute now, just to give us a more clear idea of price. If we come down to this level here, to this rejection block, we'll probably go down and take this low. So I'm going to be looking to move show my stop loss now up to the high of these wicks. That would be the next level. I wouldn't really want to see this fair value gap get tapped into anymore. But I'm going to give it one more price run up until I do that. I don't want to trail it too tight. Yeah, look at that. Look at that consequent encroachment. Bounced off that pretty nicely. So we got half an hour left of the AM session. The trade I have on the other eval, I'd like to get that down to just a runner, because I was in with 12 micros and I took out 8 on this candle here. I think I took out 8 at 92, so at this level here. But I still have 4 running, which is a third of the trade, and that's not really a runner, that's a proper partial. So I'd want to scale that down to a maximum of 2 micros. So I'll take another 2 micros off, and I want to do that before we get to 12, if we're still in any of these positions. If we don't get taken out, that would be the idea. You like how I only take 1 trade a day? It's not a fixed rule. Like, it's not a fixed rule. If I've taken like a break-even trade, I'll re-enter if there's another opportunity. In fact, I did that 2 weeks ago, and I did that quite a bit when I was on the funded. Like, I'd get stopped out at like 0.1 R, like pretty much break-even trades. I'd be happy taking another one. I'm not happy taking another one if I've taken a full 1 R loss or like a 0.5 loss. Like, I don't want to be ending a day. I don't want there to be the possibility of ending a day over 1 R loss. Like 1.5 R loss, I don't want to be doing that. So if the first trade was break even or a small profit, I'm happy going in again. But if it was a full 1 R win, then I probably won't go in again. Right now we're having some resistance getting to this high. Let's look at the 5 minute. We haven't gone up in a bit. Let's take away these execution labels. So we've got 30 minute. That 30 minutes just closed. So we've left a 30-minute high there. I like the idea of moving up to midnight open, and just spiking up into the consequent encroachment of this wick. And that will also be done in the process of rebalancing that 15-minute fair value gap. That would be nice. Also, that move up could possibly create an immediate rebalance if we do that in the next half an hour. We'll see. Or if we don't, then we'll leave a fair value gap, which will still be a draw. So this is a draw nevertheless. This price range is a nice draw nevertheless. And if we could do that, like I'd imagine we could do that, then consolidate and maybe go up in the PM, go down the PM. Regardless, if we can go up more, I can show this up and then close the stream and just monitor the runner off stream. The target would, obviously the next target, like the ideal scenario, if we leave a runner on, is this daily high. So last Friday's high. I believe it's last Friday's high. Yeah, last Friday's high. That would be the ideal. But that's very far away, so we'll see. Here we go. Pumped up through that. I'm going to look to take 2 micros off this other account. And we've got big inefficiency here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute. There's just no wick there. I'm going to take off 2 of the 4 that are left on the other one. So now I'm considering these 2 micros that are left to runner. So overall, I'll have 3 micros on across accounts. And I'm happy now to leave this run. I mean, if we get stopped out here, that's still like a 55 point, nearly a 60 point partial, like a 60 point. It profited 60 points, this 1 micro, and I'm still very happy with that. So we respected that, I think, to the tick pretty much, that fair value gap. Run, Forest, run. Oh, give us a runner. Oh, give it to me. Give me 150 points. What's 150 points? 10 points above midnight open. Yeah, quick maths. That would be 150 points. That would be nice. Spike up into midnight open. W for you. You took at the FVG, 1 minute order block. Took half, rest the break even. Did you take here? Did you take it here? Or did you take it here? Tell me the 1 minute candle time. Either way, good trade. This is why I like waiting. I like waiting. There's no need to rush into a trade in the opening range. If it looks good, take it. If it meets your model rules and you're happy with it, take it. There's no need to rush. If you have various entry, like I have like 4 different entry checklists. If I miss an opportunity, like if my model rules get met early on, I don't mind missing out on that because I know the probabilities are my model rules are going to get met multiple times throughout the session. So there's no need to run into a trade, you know? I've not been waiting an entire week to get into a position because my model rules barely get met. How many points do I usually go for? I don't really like aim for a level of points. Like I just aim for a R, like 1-to-1 RR. But it usually ends up being like I don't like, for example, there's obviously points come into it. So I don't like having like 90-point stop losses. If it's some like crazy huge point stop loss, then I'll probably pass on that. Like for example, let's just say in theory, I was my model rules made me go short in this fair value gap. My oh, my stop loss, why is it doing that? My stop loss would be all the way up here at 90 points. And I wouldn't want to do that. FYI, what I just got into, that's Digital Launchpad. I'd recommend that for everyone, but I don't want to ramble up too much. It's basically it's like a subscription, and you can learn a bunch of stuff from there. It's very good. I'm looking into stuff. I have projects outside of trading, and I'm trying to learn skills and stack skills, compounding skills, and trading's obviously one of them, but I want to learn other stuff as well. So when I'm not trading and I'm not focusing on the Twitter and I'm not in the gym and I'm not with friends and family, I'm learning other skills. If you want to talk more about that, I can definitely talk about that, but I'm going to refrain from going into other topics too much in the live stream, if you get what I mean. Back to the question, how many points do I usually go for? It's just 1-to-1 essentially. So here I got 1-to-1. If I can take my 1-to-1 at like 1.2 to 1, 1.1 to 1, and take off like 80 to 90% of the trade, like I did here. So essentially still profiting off the first partial 1R, then I am happy to leave partials run to a lot of points. And nowadays, most of my trades are around 40 handles. Stop loss, 40 handles, take profit. That's probably the average if I had to say. This one was about 35. So if I go here to my entry, and my stop loss was at that candle low originally. That's 37.5 points. And then I took my first partial at 60, 650. So around here at 41. So you can see it was like just a little bit more than what my stop loss was. This could shoot up. Do I need Safari? I don't know what Safari is running. You can quit notes. There we go. Lovely. There we go. I'm going to take one off here. So I'm taking another one off the other account. Trail this up to here now. Let's see, if we start rejecting and we start just moving around here, I'll close it. If we can, in the next couple minutes, keep shooting up, I'll leave it on. But if we just start consolidating here, kind of moving back, not really rejecting off this fair value gap when it gets created, then I'll just close it. And I'm happy, and that will be the trade for the day. That's 150 points. 150 points delivered. I saw ICT did like a 350-point trade the other day. He like entered it in the AM session on one day, and he exited in like the London session of the next day. 350 handles. Crazy trade. You're out? Very nice, mate. Very, very nice. Let's see how we react to this. Ideally, we leave this open, continue shooting up. We've got, I mean, remember earlier when we were talking about this and I wanted to see a stop run to the upside to then go short? The only one we got in that entire move down, apart from the ones down here, in this initial move down to take this low, was this small one here. All of this is smooth, hasn't been taken. And on ES, even more so. Look at all of this. So this is a low resistance liquidity run if it wants to run up, and those can be fast. as you can see here. This has been a pretty fast move. And in those fast move, these can be left unfilled, which is why if we start to see this not left unfilled and we start to really move down into it and consolidate, I'll just take it out for the day and I'll be done. But this right now is a move that can be quickly. And the sell side of the curve, the buy side of the curve in a market maker sell model, in a market maker buy model, sorry, materializes in the same speed normally that the sell side was, in that same speed. So if we start going against that and we start consolidating, I'll just take it out. If not, and we can see this unfilled like it is currently, like move down, but we didn't move into it, move up, then I'm going to leave it and we can still go up. And the final target will be up here in this area. And once again, when we get to that next level, if we do get up to here and I'm still on stream, the meta, again, will just be watching how we react when we take this. If we reject and start consolidating like we did here, we wicked that and start consolidating, then I'll just take it short. That's what I did on the other count. I didn't take it out at the high like I did here. I took it out down here because it just started consolidating. So if we go up and just shoot through here, then that will be the final one. I will take it there when it gets to there, if it gets to there. That will be the very, very final one. I'm not going to be letting this run to more levels, as tempting as that would be. Imagine it came up to here. How many handles is that? That would be a 550 handle trade. That would be a staple that goes on Twitter. 550 handle trade. You saw it here first. But no, we're not going to let it go up to that. I feel like I'm zooming out so much now to get the entire range in. Who have we still got in here? We've got uncommon in here. I think Shorei's left now. Breakaway gap. Lovely. Yeah, you're not leaving? Come on, this is pure entertainment. We're actually in a trade now. We're actually in a trade. I remember I used to, this was back in the day when I found ICT in February 2023. I used to be in this guy's live stream every day. He's called Cami Capital. I don't know if you've heard of him. And he used to live stream ICT Concepts every day. But he was also starting out. Like he had never got a payout before from ICT. And he would trade this 50k evaluation with like really good risk management. And it took him like 3 months to pass it. And he doesn't trade ICT anymore, by the way. He trades like bookmap order flow or something now. And we had like 200 people in there every day, the PM session. We only did the PM session. And we have this whole like gang from back in the day. And I still talk to some of those guys. And we used to be in his live stream chat every day, gassing his trades and everything. It was a fun time. And it was always pure entertainment when he was in a trade. That's the type of live chat we want to have in here. Yeah, imagine we go all the way up again. Do you want to know something? If we go up, I just done the maths. while the chat was a little bit quieter. If we go up to this level, this main target, it just so happens that this one micro, if we go up to this target, would mean this evaluation reaches 53K, which means would essentially this evaluation will be passed and I'll be back to funded if this micro gets to here. Now, that's not a reason to hold it to here, but I'm just saying I've done the maths because I was interested. And if we get up to here, I'll be back to funded. And then I'll obviously in the funded we'll go proper strict. Not that this risk management isn't strict, but it's very high leverage. So in the um funded, it'll be straight back down to my funded account risk management strategy. You're an original. You're an OG. If this live streaming like goes well and people start coming in, you and Shreya are always going to be the two OGs. And I mean, you were in the first one. Shreya didn't chat much in the first one. You're both OGs, but I'm just saying. But now Tanja takes all the viewers, as you said. Tanja takes. You know I love you, Shreya. All love. Tanja takes all the viewers though. Use a 20 SL, which equals 400. With a one like with 10 micros. Use a 20-point stop loss with one contract or 10 micros, and that equals 400. Yeah, Tanja's been around for ages. Shreya's the OG. You both are the OGs. I want to see this untapped. I don't want to see us go down and trade into this. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be ideal. But I'm not going to move this up to the high of the fair value gap just because this is a possible level we could come down to with a midnight open. And I don't want to miss out on all of this just because I trailed it too tight. And if it does come down to here and then comes and stops me at down here, then that's still fine. What's this? 40 points. So that would be just an $80. Like I would have given up $80 profit if I just moved up to here instead of getting stopped out here. I don't mind giving up those $80 for the possibility to go up to here. There's big possibility that, there's 160 handles of range here that we could go up and take. That's another $300. Yeah, with 10 micros. That's good risk. What, on the funded? Would you I don't know if you guys are trading funded or evaluations, but I have very different risk management for funded and evaluations. I could show you guys that sometimes. In fact, we're going to cover that in a space. So this Friday we're doing journaling with Elijah Pips. We may have some other speakers on there. But the next one's like it's not a one-off thing. We're going to do some more. And I think the next one after that, we're going to be talking about prop firms and risk management because they go hand in hand. So risk management is going to be the main thing, but most people trade prop firms nowadays. So we're going to talk about our risk management with prop firms, both in evaluations and in funded accounts, and how risk management goes so much further than just, risk 2% a trade, risk 5% a trade. A risk management, a money management strategy should aim to do two things. It should flatline equity drawdown when you're in a losing streak, right? If you're in a losing streak and maybe it's having a toll on your emotions and it's just not great market conditions and you keep taking loss, you shouldn't be using the same amount of leverage that you used in the first loss or the second loss. You should be deleveraging. You should be focusing on survival, not getting out of it quickly, right? You need to flatline that equity drawdown. And then the second thing it has to do is it has to shape your equity curve exponentially when the conditions are good and when you are on that winning streak and taking wins, right? When conditions are good and you're in profit and there's now more money in the account, you can start increasing your leverage a little bit and shaping that curve upwards a little bit. Those are the two main things. And that's why it gets more complicated than just risking a fixed percent. So we'll talk about all of that in the space. Let's not turn this live stream into a Twitter space. If you're patient, you would be in the trade. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. Learning days, they're painful, but they're so valuable because if you really take them seriously and you write that down, like in front of me, I don't have a camera, so well, I could turn on a camera, but in front of me, I have a notebook and I've had it open since I started the stream. And the entire page that I have open is titled List of Trading Mistakes to Not Make Again. And I consciously consume the mistakes that I've made because I do not want to make them again. That's the worst. I don't mind making a mistake if I've never made it before, but making it again is not all that. So taking a trade when I'm not fully sure about the outcome. That's one thing on the list, for example. You got to be 100% liking every aspect of the trade. And the list is very large. So I've made a lot of mistakes throughout my trading. You're not funded? In due time. In due time. You take $100 risk in your fundeds? That's very conservative, I have to say. For the 50k, I presume. That's very conservative. Mine's a little bit. I talk about this on the space, so I don't want to spoil content that's going to be on the space. But mine's different. Like I have rules for when my leverage changes. Like if I initially get a funded account, I'll risk 10%. Like my first trade will be at 10% of the max drawdown. Not 10% of the account value. I'm not risking 5k. But it'll be 10% of the max drawdown. But then depending on, whether I'm on an X amount of trades long losing streak or X percent above the starting balance, so on, the risk will be changed. I'll explain all of that in the space. We're coming down here. Just haven't gone to I haven't changed time frame in so long. It's taken a while to load. We have a 5-minute fair value gap here. Let's see how we react to this. If we close below, then I'll probably just close the micro out. That would be like a high time frame. But I don't want to call the 5-minute a high time frame, but compared to the time frame we entered on, which was a 30-second, coming and closing down below a 5-minute fair value gap will just be me probably closing the micro out. It's good that we've closed above this here. So that was the initial target, that internal buy side. So to be actually to actually be able to go take that, go throughout this whole thing, close above it, that's a very good sign. So I'm liking that. I mean, this looks lovely. This looks lovely. Give it to me. That's our 5-minute one, I believe. We'll draw that out. Put that there. 5-minute FUG. And I'll remove this one because I don't want to see that tap and it's cluttering the chart. I'll remove that one. I normally only like keeping these fair value gaps. The one I entered on, because I'll have to screenshot that later for the journal. And the one I'm worrying about in this instance, which is this one. You're not feeling great these days, isn't in a losing streak? That's what it's all about, bro. The focus is to survive. Like if the account, like you want to look at it like the account you're trading, especially when it's a funded, you want to look at it like if this account gets blown, I'm not funded anymore. Right? You've got to look at it as if it was your money and the goal is to survive. So you shouldn't like I see so many people they get left with like a small amount of like allowed drawdown in the account and they just decide to just full port the rest of the account instead of slowly working their way back out of it. So that's very sensible. Lowering your risk, deleveraging, working on slowly building your way out of that drawdown. Stay in the game. 20k day for Tanja. All in funded. Crazy. Right, let's see this 5 minute. I don't like that 5 minute close. That could be better. We've got this 50-minute fair value gap here. That would be nice to move into. We got a break here as well. That's not ideal. So we just moved into that 30-minute fair value gap there. We've got 3 minutes until the close of this 5 minute candle. Let's ideally see a move up. We're up 210 points at one point. Not bad. Game is the game. Game is the game. Stop us out, please. Stop us out, please. This is perfectly timed. If it stops us out now, perfectly timed. We can end the stream and I can eat some food because I'm hungry. If not, you guys won't get to see the end of the trade. Do I want more profit or you guys entertained? So we didn't really get a rejection off that midnight opening, which I don't like. I don't like that. And then we tapped that low. Nice little rejection off it. But really, if we come back down to this, if we come back down to this low, we're probably done. So just like I was talking about here, when we took this low and came up, if we come back down to this low, we are probably going to go down and take my stop loss, which was there. So this is the same deal here. If we come down now, take this low, there's nothing else. Like we're not going to be referring back to a PD array. If it comes back to take this low, it's probably going to shoot down and into this fair value gap. Like even if we were going to go up, it would come down, take that low, wick into the fair value gap, and then go up. In which case my stop loss would be taken. And I'm not for dragging my stop loss down. That goes against. Like I only do that like occasionally at the start. If I realize just after I've entered the trade it needs a little bit more space, I don't mind moving it down. But when like I decided my stop loss was going to be here, so I'm not going to drag it down. Look at that 5 minute rejection. If we can get up and close up now, that would be very nice. We can move this up now. We've got 1 minute more until the 5 minute closes. Equal highs. Where have we got equal highs? Here? Yeah, you're right. Here. Yeah, I mean, got all of this resting stuff. All of this will have so much liquidity from everyone who went short and left runners on, or everyone who went short hoping for, a huge daily candle down like we had on Friday. There'll be all of that. All of that liquidity for the taking. This is good. We're going to close that now in 20 seconds. I'm very happy with how we've read price today. I'm very satisfied with how we read price today. That's exactly what we wanted to see for the candle close. Huge rejection. I want to see what ES is doing actually. We're on the 5 minute. What's ES doing? ES is a little bit weaker. That's been the general sentiment for the day. ES has been weaker than NQ. That's nice, I guess. I'm gonna dare to look at YM, believe it or not. ES has just got those equal highs that we mentioned earlier. We want that to be taken. I'm gonna put this alert here in this fair value gap. If we're gonna reverse on YM, that would be a level where we would reverse if we weren't gonna go there. DXY, I'd prefer if it went down, to be honest. We were talking about this earlier. We would prefer if we were when we were here. We said it'd be nice if we could come down here. Now would be nice if we could come down here because then in theory, Anki would keep moving up and ES would keep moving up. You see that? Off the new day opening gap. I didn't have that on the MNQ chart, but look at that. Bounced off that new week opening gap pretty perfectly. You entered at that new day opening gap. We love to see it. We love to see it. That's a very nice entry at the new week opening, new day opening gap. Loving it. I would be loving it too if that wasn't McDonald's slogan. I'm liking it. I'm adoring it. See, that's good. That's a great close for the 15-minute candle there. We do have a 15-minute. This is kind of getting overlapped by the entries. We've got a 15-minute fair value gap there. Ideally, that acts as a breakaway gap if we're going to go up. And then when we take external, it's the same chat as always. Every day rhymes. Every day rhymes. You find yourself saying the same stuff. If we take external, then we can look for a move to internal, right? We didn't go for this internal until we took external. So I'm not too worried about this, especially because it's far away. If we'd closed here, I'd be more worried about this. But we're so far away, I'm not that worried about us going back down to here until we take external. So I'm not worried about that. That's a breakaway gap for now. We love to see it. Once again, reminder, we got someone else now in the live stream. This is the final target. This would be our ideal level for this last runner. That would be ideal. I am open to taking it here if we reject strongly off the current day's high. We would be making a new daily high if we break this. If we reject from there, I'd be happy closing the short there. But this is the final target. Low resistance liquidity around this. So I'd want this to run quickly. $400 on one micro is pretty crazy. I'm not trying to hype myself up or anything, but I've never had one micro at 200 points. I don't think I've ever taken a 200-point trade. I don't want to call it 200-point trade. I hate when people say like, "Oh, I made like 10 RR," but they took out most of their position at like 1-to-1. Like that's not a 10 RR. You can't say that was a 10 RR. So I don't want to call this a 200-point trade because it's literally less than 10% of the original position size. But game's a game. It is still 200 points. You're done? You've been killing it today, Shreya. You have been killing it. You guys are getting the good stuff. The good stuff. Watching this now is more going to be more entertaining than the recording. As I said earlier, the recording's going to be a little bit worse than usual. It's going to be 1080p. Because can I record while I'm streaming? Like, would I be able to record this on top of streaming? I guess I could. I guess maybe I should have done that. Normally I just click record here and it records this, but we'll see. Run it up. That's 250 points. We want push up. You hit your daily drawdown limit, or your daily draw. I'm so used to writing in my journal from back in the day. I hit my daily drawdown limit. That every time I say the word or hear the word draw, I think about daily drawdown limit. You're regretting that exit, but it's okay. But don't regret anything if you made money. You learned something. You learned something. How long have we been in this for? We've been in this for over an hour, just over an hour now, 61 minutes. I don't consider that my trade time, by the way. When I take this to the journal and I collect all of this data for the journal, I won't be writing that I was in this trade for 60 minutes. I'll be writing that I was in this trade when I took my 1R, because that is my model, 1-to-1 RR. I was able to here take 1.2, 1.1, 1.2 in terms of points. So I left the run up, but I'll be classifying this trade as a 1 minute 30-second trade because that's what it is, a 2 minute trade. Crazy PA. Yeah, crazy nice PA. Crazy nice PA. I said this at the start of this session. Today's my favorite day of the week for this week in terms of news. A little bit more so today and tomorrow, but a little bit more so today. And the price action has delivered. You hear that beeping? I don't know if you can hear that beeping. That's the crazy stuff that it was doing when I opened the MacBook this morning. So that's YM. Let's go to YM real quick. So YM's moved into that fair value gap there. So if YM was going to reverse, probably start doing that now. If we see a reversal at NQ, that could be a possible reason. But YM still has the high, like the very high from CPI. YM hasn't taken that yet. Like that CPI candle, YM hasn't taken that. It just built liquidity there. So that's a very strong draw for YM. Can DXY get its ass moving down already? Yes, looking decent. Yes, it's picking up. Do you guys prefer watching this in the 5 minute? I feel the 5 minutes a little bit too slow. I just feel that like, there's a lot of candles on the chart right now. And by the way, I'm going to mark this out as 4 hour buy side. Because that's what it is. It's the last 4 hour candles buy side. And I'm going to put the execution labels back on it. If we reach that 4 hour buy side, I will be happy. That'll be a 320 point trade. With one micro, by the way. I don't want to claim I'm raking in 300 points a day. In fact, most of my TPs are like 40 handles. And my TP today was 40 handles. If you look at that, entry at 610 basically, exit at 650 basically. That was most of it. These are just runners. Even if this one micro goes up to that 1 day buy side, in terms of monetary profit, like actual profit, it will still only make up around 60% of the profit that the first micro's made. So it's substantial, but it's still not. Like it's the first partial, as small as that was and as quick as that was, that really made the profit for today. let me just trail this. Where do we want this? 5 minute fair value gap. We're gonna close in 7 seconds now. So we've created basically another fair value gap here. Then when we close, yeah. So let's go down to the 1 minute and drag this here. 15 minute. We came down. Did we take that high? Not quite. I mean, this is another thing. I like to look at OTE. So when we go into internal buy side for a range, if it is just to take internal buy side and then reverse, we're going to do that either quickly or we're going to go back. This is normally the one it does back to equilibrium. So sometimes tapping into that OTE and then going back down. If you go into that OTE and you know that OTE has those 3 levels, if you start really wicking past that 3rd level and closing past that 3rd level, How confident would you be if you were in a short and your stop loss was there? Not very confident. So when it starts doing that, like it is now, it's pushing well past that OT. Like that OT, I'd imagine is somewhere around here. I'm not going to mark it out because I don't have it. I don't believe I have it. I don't believe I have it. Um, yeah, I don't have it there. But look, it's going past that OT level. So in that sense, I'm more confident that it's going to go here than it would be to reject and go down. So even if it goes down, takes my stop loss and goes up, that's still more probable than it rejecting and going all the way down here before we go up there. See, we haven't even tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap. Siri. Siri just activated on my iPad, and it just activated again because I said that. You can go away, Siri. If we could stay out that 5-minute fair value gap, as I've said like 10 times now, that would be the most ideal scenario. And once we get up and we hit that high, and we basically just have, rejection block here, wick CE, and the high, it'd be nice to get through that quickly. That's less resistance than we had all the way through here. Like all of this has more resistance than we will have up here. So I'd like to think that we're going to see speed. Yeah, as you see, we bounced down. So I'd like to think that we're going to see speed up into here. And then the idea is that we get little rejection and speed up into here. If we just start consolidating, I'll just drag the stop loss tight, probably. I probably won't just take it out immediately. I'll probably just drag the stop loss tight and like to around here, and that'll be it. And if it wants to go up, it'll go up. If not, it'll stop me out here. But I definitely want to see speed from when we take this high to here. I'm going to drag this stop loss up now to that low. That. So 75, 775. That seems like we're coming down to that 5-minute fair value gap. If I was taking a long right now, oh, by the way, we're 12 minutes, 50 minutes past when the stream was meant to end. But just put in the chat quickly. Do you guys wanna stay in for a little bit longer and watch this micro? Or should we end the stream and I'll just update you guys on Twitter? I don't mind staying in a little bit longer. Have I passed my starters? So I'm in trading 2 different 50k starters right now. The one that you guys aren't seeing, that's on the other screen, that today, the trade I took today, was the second trade of that starter. So yesterday's loss was the first one, and it was around a $750 loss. So about a third of the drawdown, a little bit under a third. And today's was with 12 micros, and I took that first partial with 8 micros here. So I essentially got all of this with 8 micros, and here I only got this with 9 micros. So I made a lot more on the other account. So I was essentially 750 below the 50k starting balance today, and right now I'm floating at 51.6k. So on that account today we've made 2.3k. And on this account here, we are floating right now. Let me check. In fact, I'll check it here. You guys can see. We're floating at 52,800. So if this micro goes up another 180 points or so, no, sorry, another like 90 points or so, this one will be passed. That's nice. I mean, that's not nice in the fact that we left these equal lows just above an imbalance, but it's nice that we haven't tapped into it. So if we can just continue seeing speed, I'm not worrying about those equal lows. If we start consolidating, very possible wick down into them. And that would be a more unfortunate scenario than if we just kept going up. So ideally, we just keep going up with speed. As I said, when we break this high, we want to see speed. I don't think we have broken that high yet. Because now we've got an order block there. So now we've created a bullish PD array above this bullish PD array. So this is what I'm saying. I said earlier, when I like seeing fair value gaps tapped into, the ones that I see always get just tapped and then rejected are the ones where it taps into it quickly after it was created, meaning quickly after this bearish candle close. But we didn't see that here, which means we went up and created an order block and now have all this price action. And if we go down into it again, it's just not as nice as the quick tap ones. That's just my experience with it. And we're rejecting off this 5 minute fair value gap here. I'll show you guys real quick. That. Uncommon. Are you saying that to Shreya? Are you not entertained? I'm entertained. I am anyone who's watching this right now, watching this trade. I mean, I'm not claiming that I'm a good entertainer. I'm just saying this trade has been pretty entertaining. I don't think anyone can deny that. I'm not gonna complain about how entertaining this trade has been. Look at that. I have to zoom out just so my entry can be seen. Corre, corre, corre. Corre, corre, corre. Have you been to Mexico? I have been to Mexico. Where have I been in Mexico? I'm gonna double check the name of the place before I just say I've been to a place, just in case I make a fool for myself. Yeah, I've been to Cancun. Cancun in Mexico. I believe that's on the east coast, like southern east part of Mexico. I was there when I was much younger though, and it was amazing. I think I was about eight. I think I was about eight, nine. So I can't remember too much. Like I definitely remember it, and it was great. From everything I remember, it was absolutely amazing. I remember the resort. It was on the beach, and they had like a pool that was filled with seawater. So there was a little channel that went to the sea, and it was essentially like a built swimming pool, but with a channel into the sea. So there'd be like wildlife. There'd be like fish swimming around the pool, and it was generally a very nice place. I have very good memories from Mexico. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere. I was born in Australia. I don't know if I've said that, but I was born in Australia. I was born in Australia, and then I moved to the UK, and then I moved to Spain, then I moved to the UK, and then I lived in Madrid, and I lived in another part of Spain, and then I lived in two different places in the UK. I've moved house 9 times, so I've moved 9 times in my life, which is an average of 2 times a year. I mean, what 1 time every 2 years. That's crazy. In a way, it has its pros and cons. Like some of my best mates, they've lived in the same place their entire life, and that has its very good pros as well. Like you have a friend group from forever instead of like you can have a good friend, but you met him like a year ago or 2 years ago instead of 15 years ago. And also, you get to know a place very well. If you move around a lot, you get to know a place very well. But then by the time you get to know it very well, you leave it, which also has its pros because then you know a lot of places very well. But it's not the same. Everything has its pros and cons. We had a little pump up here. Very nice. Look at that. 300 points. True. What would be my plan in the future is to just bounce around. Like obviously you would have a base. Like you're not just gonna be I'm not just gonna be a gypsy. Like not in a bad way. Not that gypsy's bad, but I'm not gonna have that lifestyle of like bouncing around and just living for a week in a new place and not having a base. Like I'm gonna have a base, but I am gonna move around a lot. And my base will probably be Europe. And if I can afford it, I'll have two bases, one in Europe and one in the States. That would be the goal. And then if I can afford it even more than that, which is the plan, then I'll have a base in Australia, a base in Europe, and a base in the States. That would be the goal. I don't know where in the States. I've only been to New York in the States, and I'm going to Miami at Christmas. So I'll see which one I like more. And I'll have to also go to LA and see how that is. Maybe 2025. Maybe we do a tour of the States. 2025 tour of the States in the summer. I'll do New York, LA. I'll do New York, LA. Hawaii, maybe. You want to go to every country? That's a nice bucket list to have. Every country. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to go to every single country. I want to go everywhere. I want to go every continent. Yeah, we could do a trader roundup. We could just do it as a group of traders. I'm not liking this. There's no need to go this low. Right, we've got the consequent encroachment of this wick. I've got to pay attention that I take this trade out by the time the account gets passed. I don't want to just be in it for the sake of more profit if the account's already passed. What was this at the peak? 303. So that's a 600. So that's 100 more than now, which would be 880. So we're fine. We're fine until we get like up it. USA and film it. Bro, if we can do a trader roundup, like just a few of us that have like, we don't have to have like millions in payouts. This can be afforded with, couple tens of thousands in payouts can afford that, you know? And we can also like save a lot of money by splitting accommodation and stuff. I know groups of profitable traders that have done that, and groups of like profitable entrepreneurs that have done that. And we could just film it, high quality cameras, high quality content, YouTube channel. We could even like organize. I'm trying to grow my Twitter and obviously the live stream. Like I'm trying to grow a community here, and we could even do like meetups. I just reached 300 followers on the Twitter yesterday, which I'm pretty happy about. We're trying to grow it even more, build a community, do meetups. Like the reason I started the Twitter in the first place was to like actually make good, valuable connections with other people that are into trading and really want to do this in the future. Because you don't just bump into people on the street or at the gym that trade ICT or that just day trade futures at that or day trade forex. You don't bump into those people in person. They're very few of them. So it'd be good to go. You kind of have to meet them online. So that's why I created the Twitter. And by doing that, we can grow a community and hopefully make connections in the future. And when you do get to that stage, because I think there'd be nothing worse than like imagine you now can afford to move around when you want and have that freedom. There'd be nothing worse than to not have anyone to do that with. And the only people you can really do that with are other people that have the same type of income source, right? Like trading or a business. That's why making these connections online during your journey is so important. so that then when you do have the freedom to move around, you actually have people to do that with, and you're not just moving around lonely. So it would this that was essentially the goal. Doing all of this, that is the goal. Connections. I don't make money off any of this. Like it's insanely hard to make money off Twitter. Like to monetize a Twitter, it's crazy hard. To give you guys a perspective, to get monetized on Twitter, I don't know if you guys know this, but you need to be getting a total of 5 million impressions, like cumulative on all of your posts and comments, 5 million impressions in the last 3 months. So if you get 5 million impressions in the last 3 months, you get to monetize your account. But even when you monetize it, it's very low paid. Like if you're getting 5 million impressions a month, you're not going to be getting paid a lot at all. So it's basically if you run a Twitter account, you're just not going to be making money until you have tens of thousands of subscribers. And on top of that, you post like 10 times a day. So the goal with Twitter really isn't monetization, it's just growing a community. And even with YouTube, like I'm not probably not going to ever get monetized on this. Like I'm going to be doing this like as long as I can do it. I don't mind doing this with both of you in the chat and no one else. At the end of the day, it's connections we're looking for. I've not been reading the chat for like a couple minutes. You want to go to every country road trip? Hopefully, you'll join us. USA and film it. Yeah. Why not move SL up? Yeah, I've not been paying attention. Why did I leave the point 0.7 level on? The goal was to leave the 0.5 level on. I was looking at this 5 minute wick here. We moved down, rejected. So that was the idea. That's why I was leaving the wick there. So that's good. We did that. Where would I move my stop loss up to now? Yeah, this 5 minute. We really. Thing is, once I move it up, I don't want to move it down. So I don't want to put it too tight. I'm going to give it just below the C of this wick here. So 807.25. Move it up here as well. 807.25. Um, Bali sounds nice. Yeah, Bali's crazy. I have this well, he's not a friend. I've never met him in person. I've never actually talked to him. But he's a friend of an old friend. So I used to go to school in Spain, and like there was this guy, and I used to be good mates with him. We went to class together. His friend has now an Instagram account with like 25,000 followers, and he's like this entrepreneur. He's like a year older than us, than me, so like 19. And he's in Bali at the moment, and I follow his account. And he's there with like a couple other entrepreneurs his age, and the three of them just split the accommodation, which is dead cheap in Bali, and it's just great lifestyle, and they do have a small income from their businesses, so they're able to afford that to move around. They're by no means like Iman Gadzis. They're not making like crazy money, but they're making a living. And in a place like Bali, it's such a cool place to grow. They're always going to the nicest places, surfing after they work. The people are very nice, apparently. The OGs secured. No, the older block or the OGs? The OGs are secured. We don't care about the older blocks. We're here for the OGs. Missed free. My funded feature account. They just dropped free 50k accounts. Where did they drop free 50k accounts? Floating at 300 points. I'm going to remember this trade for a long time. Not only because of the size of it, but because it was my first live stream win with you guys. On their Discord? What, are they still there or not? Are they still there? Give me some of those. Hmm. Let me check what you're saying real quick. Active promotions. They dropped free. It's gone. Too late. Game's the game. Right, let me get myself out of Discord. What am I doing in Discord? Oh, we've taken the high. Taking the high and we rejected. Is that what we want to see? Is that what we want to see? No, we don't. So as I said, if we came up here, I'd drag my stop loss tight. What, free reset? That's good, that's good, that's fine. I don't need a reset yet. If I hadn't taken a trade, that I could have done with that on the other account because of yesterday's loss. But we're fine for now. We rejected here. I said I'd bring my stop tight if we did. Like if we started rejected here instead of just going up to here quickly, I'd drag the stop loss tight. So that's what I'm going to do. So we've got this wick here, PD array. We've got this inversion here. So let me just start dragging this out. We've got this here. This is now a inversion. 15-minute. We closed above that now. I want to give this 15-minute space. So let me just put a level here. That's the 15-minute candle low. And that comes up to be that order block. So I could go that 15 candle low there. And that'd be 52.25. Could we go up any further? That'd be the top of that 5-minute fair value gap, essentially. Which would be fine with external and then to internal. You know, now's when we start looking for the move down. Like if now we had just taken this and I hadn't taken trades and it was a lot earlier, obviously I would be off the charts now. Then I could look it for a move down to here. So I am wary about that. By the way, you're signing out, you need to study. Go for it, bro. I know you need to have your dinner, or you've had it already. Go for it. It was good having you in here, mate. See you later. I was just about to ask. I would normally have ended the live stream 30 minutes ago at the end of the AM session. Do you guys want me to end it now and I'll just document the rest on Twitter when this closes out? Or do you want to see this last runner get hit? Let me know in the chat quickly. See you later, Shreya. This is the final target, boys. Final target. In fact, I'm going to put the sell limit there just to make it clear. There we go. No, it's 0.25. 62.25. Why is it jumping? We're too zoomed out. There we go. You want to see the last one alive? The thing is, now that this is recording, as I've not been recording this trade, the only way that I'm going to be able to record it from start to finish without any cuts is by staying in the live stream. Because this live stream will automatically save to YouTube. And I'll be able to clip it and put it on Twitter. If I end the stream, the recording will be cut. And I've just clocked that right now. So I'm probably going to keep the stream going until this gets hit. Maybe that means me eventually, like if this takes too long, maybe I'll just turn my audio off, go and get some food, and let this play out live, but without me commentating. But it's looking like it could close in maybe before 1 o'clock in the next half an hour, or maybe in the next couple minutes. We'll see. I mean, either way, we want speed, so we want it to pan out quickly. If I'm wrong, it's the outcome's either going to be we consolidate slowly and then I'll be wrong, or we'll be wrong quickly. But if I'm going to be right, it's going to do that quickly. I don't see us consolidating slowly up. That will be quickly. So we'll see. If we're not out of this quickly in the next like 15 minutes, the case is that we're probably still dragging around here. If we go up and I'm right, that will be 10 handles more than ICT's massive short he did the other day that everyone was ogling over. That'll be a mini flex I'll be able to hold. Just want to clarify once again, the real trade, the real R of this trade isn't all of this. It's this, because this is where I took out 80+% of the trade size. This is where I made the 1R. I made more in this partial here than I'm currently floating at right now. Look at that, nice. Help me out, guys. I know Shrey's not in here anymore, but you uncommon. I'll post this later on the Twitter. Show it some love, please. I'd appreciate it greatly. Grow our Twitters together. That's the goal. Twitter's a platform where if you want to grow, the way to grow is by, like, people got to interact. If you just create a Twitter account and just constantly post and no one interacts with you and you don't interact with anyone else, you just don't grow. You grow 10 times slower because you're just posting into a void. With Twitter, the way to grow is interact. You got to interact. It's a platform where people interact and talk and chat. You're not sending out Instagram reels that get liked by the millions. Love, bro. Your comment and repost? Love to you, bro. This is why I'm doing the collab space with Elijah Pips. He has like 1,000 followers or something. Just two small accounts growing, helping other people, hopefully. Growing community. Twitter trading community has helped me so much. This is looking nice. You make YouTube videos every week? I didn't know that, bro. I'll watch them. I'll check out your YouTube channel after this. And after I eat. I may not make it to your YouTube channel if I don't eat after this. I'll pass out on the way. Right, let's get some speed up to here, please. Lord. Is this enough? Is this enough entertainment? Is that enough entertainment? Or should I do more? Do I need to have also shorted the top here and taken profit here? Is that what we need to do tomorrow? Please, oh please. Oh please. That's a 100 handle drop there. 100 handle retracement. Dropped like a knife. I can't lie. I was convinced I was going to get stopped out when we were down here. I don't know if you remember, my stop loss was here. I was convinced we were going to get stopped out. That's crazy. We were like 10 handles from getting stopped, and now we're 200 handles above that. My original stop with this trade was 37 handles and a half. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not happy with that though. That's not that nice. ES is a little bit stronger now for some reason. It used to be weaker. But SMT, if ES is holding that and now pumps up, that'll be nice for NQ. I don't mind if NQ takes a low. Yeah, that 100 handle move down was crazy. I don't like this this new day opening gap being just below. Like if we tapped into it, that's nice. I don't like that it's just below this liquidity here. That's not ideal. And we're rejecting off, that daily high here. If we don't pump up quickly and get above here, like get a solid close above this high, like just like the entry, like I was waiting for us to just get above here and find some support. And that's exactly what we did. I talked about this before I got in. We shot up here nicely. I want us to find some support in it now. And that's what I want us to do here. And it's not looking at the moment yet like that's the case. But we could definitely go up and find support. We'll see. There's these equal lows here that I have to say I'm going to move my stop loss up to them at 6. What's that? 860.25. 860.25. As I promised, tight SL when we took daily high. I don't like that we've created that 5-minute order block, bearish order block, trading through that opening price of that bullish candle. If we were to go short now, like no, we're not going to go short, obviously, but if we were going to go bearish now, it would just be finding support now here and not really going back to this daily high area. Finding support here, coming down, disrespecting this quickly, and then coming back up, finding support and then going down. Which seems like that's possible. I mean, that's nice rejection. There's a low here that we just took out. Should I zoom in? Do you guys want to watch it like this? Should I zoom in? Is that a little bit more clear? Or I go back to this? I think this encapsulates the whole move a little bit nicer. That was nice rejection there. Took that little low. I don't know if you guys can see that. Took that there. And we've rejected off nicely. So if we were going to go up, there's no reason to go down any further. There's no need to retrace any further. That was a shallow take, but shallow takes are fine. Like shallow takes can be left. When the overall move is up, if it takes a shallow stop run, if the move up is meant to be quick and it's low resistance, these can be left for later. So if we are really going to be going up, we'd want to see that now. There's no, just like we were talking about before here, If we're going to go up, it'd have to do it there. It's not going to now come back down and take that low, because if it's going to do that, then it'll just come down to this fair value gap and taken my trailed stop loss. So if we're going to go up now, it should start doing that now. That bullish order flow on the 15 seconds start going up. If we then come back down and take this low, we've got this rejection block, but really it's just our stop loss next, these equal lows. What's it going for if it goes down? Equal lows. So I don't see us being correct, meaning coming up to here, if we go and take this low. But I'm going to give it like a couple more minutes to pump up before I trail my stop. So I'm not going to trail it just yet. I'll see if it comes down and just quickly rejects. I'm still fine with that. But I'm going to give it, just like I did earlier, I'm going to give it like a minute or two to get up to here before I trail my stop. What are we sitting at right now? 2850. Just need about 80 handles more. Yeah, so that's about a TP. We'll probably pass it before we get here, but just for the sake of we want this and it's not that much further than the 3k, I'll leave this here and we'll go for the full target. Yeah, if we don't, if we end up coming back down, I could have closed it and passed it. Oh well, we'll pass it another day. We'll be here tomorrow for PPI. Every day rhymes. Price action rhymes. God, I may not make it to the end of the live stream alive. I'm hungry. I can't lie, I was close to closing that runner down here at midnight open. I'm happy I followed what a runner's meant to do. I let the runner run. El corredor corrió. Yeah, so we're coming down. Not ideal. We bounced off that order block. Not ideal. And then there's the 15-minute fair value gap. Game's the game. Game is the game. So yeah, that's that's a rejection. Like, although we could still go up, we're probably like we could still go up, and I'm still confident that we could go up. But are we gonna do that before we come down and take my stop loss? It's not looking that likely now. It is looking like, you know, if you weren't in a trade right now, you'd imagine that before we go here, we're gonna go and take that 15-minute fair value gap high. Like, that's just the logic. But, you know, we're going to stick to what we have decided. We're not going to drag our stop loss here too quickly. You know, we're not missing out on too much profit by closing it now. You know, it's 20 handles to the stop loss. That's $40. As I said, we could come down and reject hard. If not, we're probably going down. Is this a hard rejection? Not really. Look, came down 15 seconds for entertainment. Came down, didn't really reject hard. A hard rejection would mean wick and now a big white candle, big bullish candle. Could be materializing here, very possibly. As I said, I mean, if we're going to go up here, we've done enough going down. If we do go down, then we're going to go down here, we're going to go down here, 5-minute fair value gap. And I'm obviously not going to drag this all the way down here. Like, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm done for the day. We've been in this for nearly 2 hours now. Got a new 1 minute candle on the way. See the 5 minute candle that opened a minute ago? Power of three for candles, you know? If it's a bearish candle, it will move up at the start and then move down. As you see, we don't have a discount wick here. So it's just moved up. So in theory, if you're looking at this candle, you're like, power of three, it makes sense for us to now go down. Which is fine. That's absolutely fine. I think they'll lock in just over $500 with this micro, just over 250 points, which I'm happy with. Yeah, so 251 points on the dot. I'm happy with that. What will that leave us at? What's the 30 handles to $60? That will leave us at $200 from passing this, which is fine. Unless we go up now, possibly. One thing that has helped me so much now that I've come back to trading, and I'll talk about this as well in the space on Friday because it relates to keeping a price action logbook. But the one thing that has helped me so much is not talking about price and what it could do, holding like a proper expectation. Like not saying like I used to write in my journal when I would do my analysis or whatever. I'd write down like price has to go there, right? Like there's equal highs. Price like remember the equal highs we had a couple days ago here, like all the way up here. When we were like around here and we'd already printed all of these equal highs, and over here, I was like, price has to go there. There's no way price goes down and leaves these equal highs, right? And with that conviction, if you marry that bias, you're just gonna keep taking losses in this. Like I would have taken loss here, loss here, loss here. I would have taken like 3 losses throughout those couple days that we were going for those highs. So you can't marry the idea. So talking with language like I would like price to go there. I imagine price could go there, but I'm not holding a solid fixed bias. I'm open to anything. We'll see what narrative brings. I've got draws that I've picked to the upside, draws that I've picked to the downside. I'm open to taking a trade into either, or I'm open to taking a trade into one, but I accept that price may not do that. That type of language kept me so much more relaxed, knowing that I wasn't missing out on anything. When I use the language like, yeah, price has to go here, then I convince myself of that. And let's say I take a long, get stopped out. Oh, price has to go there. So I'll just make money by entering again. And then you'll end up taking 3 losses on the same trade idea. So not marrying a trade is the best thing that I've done in my trading. One of the best things I've done in my trading. So I started off break even. Can you just rephrase that, please? That was a big issue for me. Yeah, man. It's an issue for a lot of people that just like being. It's an issue for most traders because who doesn't like being right? Like you want to be right, and you've learned all of this content, and you now expect price to do exactly what you've learned. And until you accept that it's fine that price does what it's gonna do, even if you're wrong. What matters is only putting risk on the table when it's worth it. Right, so I'm happy that I didn't trail my stop loss to that low. I said I'll give it a couple more minutes if it wants to come down and reject, and it did. So I'm happy with that. I am going to move this now to the low though. Believe that's the low. Because I mean, if we do come down, then we're going to take those equal lows most likely. So what's that? 71.25. I'll just change this on the other one. 71.25. Hostia. I just forgot. I have an event tonight that starts in 1 hour, and I completely forgot about what time it started. I don't know if Uncommon you're still in here. Or I'm just talking into a microphone with no one on the other side. But I've got an event tonight at 7 p.m. and right now it's about to tick 6 p.m. And I have to get changed, and then I have to get to their house, and their house is like a 2 hour walk away. And at the moment, I don't have a way of getting there. So I'm not sure I'm going to get there on time. I'm not sure I'm going to get there on time. I'll see. Let's hit one of these orders quickly. Let's hit the stop order limit quickly so I can get to this event. I've been in this trade for forever. Maybe I'll just have to start getting changed on the live stream. I'll double check the webcam is off. Don't want to get banned on my third day live streaming. Right, this is the last straw, 5 minute version from over here. This really is the last straw. There's no, I mean, we came up, look at that, bearish order block on the 5 minute. I'm gonna mark that out. We respected that mean threshold. Not ideal, to be honest. But we're gonna give it its time. Can we run up already? I may just have to turn the audio off. Is there anyone still in here? I know Shrey's left. Are you still in here? I don't want to turn the audio off and stop talking. I'm not saying that I'm the entertainment of the stream. The trade is probably more entertaining than my speech. But I don't want to just leave the stream on with no one talking and leave you guys here alone. Look at that. Move up off the inversion fair value gap. If we can keep that going and take that sell limit, I'll be very happy. And then we'll be back in the funded for tomorrow, if we can do that. Guys, I'm just gonna actually wait. My phone's on 2% actually. Give me a second. Right, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to this event. I'm trying to catch a lift. Who have we still got in here? Uncommon, are you still in here? All right, we're really consolidating here. You know, we hit this high 30 minutes ago now. And I talked about how if we came up and didn't see just straight speed and we just consolidated, I'd drag my stop loss tight and then just let it either run here or here. And unfortunately, and I remember saying here, if we don't run up now, if we find ourselves in 15 minutes at 1 o'clock still dragging along here, it's just not going to be ideal because the idea is that the moment we break up through this level, we see speed. And we had a chance here, we had a chance here. And it's looking like we could have another chance here. But if we come down for the sake of me having to leave and close the stream, I may just close it here and call it a day, just for the sake of ease. You know, the main trade was down here. You know, we entered with 11 micros, took out 9, and we made more money than the current floating profit with this one micro. And then obviously we made some extra with this micro here. That was like a 40 points here, 90 points here, 300 or so points here. Let's see if we now have another chance to pump up with speed. That's the type of speed we want to see. What we just saw there. We want to replicate that. Right. Guys, I'm going to turn off the audio for a second. Right, guys, can you hear me? Just a quick audio check. Uncommon, can you hear me? Let me know in the chat. You took 40 points. Nice, you can hear me. Right, cool. Looks like it's panned out in the end then. I don't know if you heard me. I don't know if you were in the chat earlier when I was talking. Um, but I have to get to this event that starts in 55 minutes, and it's an hour's drive away. I completely forgot that it started in an hour, and I still have to get changed. So I'm hoping this just hits quickly so I can minimize how late I am. Come on. Finito. 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 You saw it here live. You saw the whole thing pan out. Thank you for being here, Uncommon. And that is, brother, we're 70 cents away. We're 70 cents away. Que mala suerte. That's annoying. That is generally annoying. We're 70 cents away. That's very unlucky. All right, well, that's panned out now. I'm going to end the stream. I have to go. Thank you very much for turning up. It was good to have you in. I'm very happy with that. I hope you guys were entertained. I hope you guys were entertained. We've got that inversion there. It's not wanting to drag out there. We entered down here at 609, 609 about there. And we've just taken it at 72.5. So 363.5 points. So I'll see you later on X. Thank you very much for everyone turning up. And I'll see you guys another day. Go live now. And stream. Thank you very much.